Rope Hint sends it on backwards, and that one missed. Intended for Chris Tanev. It was. Robertson back inside. He was trying to take this one up, and back behind his Rope Hints towards the corner. High point is Chris Tanev. And that one chipped in by Vegas. This will go for an icing. And still no. As Pietrangelo gets across for the red line. And Stanka then gets over to Braden McNabb on the other way. Offensive zone face-off for the Stars. Here, Jamie Benn tried to set up wide Johnston. Stick lifts as Johnston tried to direct one. Couldn't do so. Vegas gets this one out, and all the way it comes bouncing over to Ryan Suter. Play keep away from Marshall, so he gets slammed towards the penalty box doors. Jamie Benn sends this one down inside. Hill couldn't play it. It'll be taken out by the Golden Knights. Stars trying to keep this one in. They do so. Moved around through the near quarter. They're the half wards. At the near side, right behind, bumped by Whitecloud. Haig moves this one around and out. And now here's a 2-on-1. Here's Chandler Stevenson with Ivan Barbashev. Sent across. Barbashev lifts this one wide. All the way around. He missed it by a mile. It was not even close. Whitecloud brings this one back inside. Jake Ottinger plays this one out. Kept alive by Mark Stone as fans are booing him. Suter was in the way of that pass. Evgeny Dadonov moving cross ice over to Tyler Seguin. As the Stars go back up, Duchesne. Around Pietrangelo, Duchesne back for Seguin. Seguin lifts this one, and not stopped by Hill. Duchesne tried to keep. Seguin keeping this one alive at the near corner. Duchesne. Pass went awry. It'll go all the way back. Thomas Harley. The first to it. Golden Knights ice it. Yeah, I'm Alec Nava here for this. Just for the moment, as we're waiting on John Ott. Well, a beautiful play by the Golden Knights to keep this one out. So I am Alec Nava. So we go for the lines here. Jason Robertson, Rope Hintz, Logan Stankoven, Jamie Benn, Wyatt Johnston, Joe Pavelski, Evgeny Dadonov, Matt Duchesne, Tyler Seguin, Radek Faksa, Sam Steele, Craig Smith, Thomas Harley of Miro Heiskanen, Esa Lindell, Chris Tanev, Ryan Suter of Niels Lundqvist, Jake Ottinger and net, Scott Wedgwood the backup. The Golden Knights featuring Tomas Hertl, Jack Eichel, Jonathan Marchessault, Ivan Barbashev, Chandler Stevenson, Mark Stone, Brett Howden, William Carlson, Mike Amadio, William Carrier, Nick Waugh, Keegan Colasar, Alec Martinez with Alex Pietrangelo, Brandon McNabb with Shea Theodore, Noah Hannafin with Zach Whitecloud, Aiden Hill to start, Logan Thompson the backup. The Stars in Game 7, they're 7-9, but Pierre DeBoer is undefeated in Game 7. Accumulating a perfect 7-0 record, and a big slam by Brett Howden towards the wall as Theodore keeps this one down inside. Couldn't find anyone at the far side, and the Stars picked this one up. Lifted out to center by to Sam Steele, who got out of the way of McNabb. Theodore sends it up through the ice. At the far side, it's Carlson. Sick lift out this dump in. Ottinger playing this one out. Ran into some trouble with Amadio, but gets it out to safety as one of the Stars got dumped. Puck still with Dallas. They clear. 7:45 Eastern time. Whitecloud brings this one back at the Star zone. Ottinger playing this one out for Lindell. Chipped around, and Robertson sends this one down inside behind Hill. Chipping away at this is Hannafin. Away to Whitecloud. Colasar moving this up through center. King and Colasar to the right. Moving around through Harley. Colasar looking around at the near corner. Moving this one past Hits. Rushing there's Waugh. Left point. Hannafin on the keep. Colasar is down low. Had it poked away, but he retains possession. Whitecloud at the zone over to Hannafin. Noah Hannafin directs on through traffic. It's still loose. And that was bumped several times wide of where Ottinger was. Colasar over to Hannafin. That one for traffic again. Couldn't get that one on goal, and the Stars pick this one up. Here's Rope hits, traveling down for the far side. Drop pass for Stankoven. Stankoven fires. The rebound goes over to Vegas. And we'll have a penalty here. Jason Robertson upended by one of the Golden Knights. Will have our first power play of this game. Keegan Colasar will serve two. Dan O'Rourke made the call. The traffic was in front of Nick Waugh. Our referees tonight being Dan O'Rourke and Wes McCauley. Scott Cherry and Steve Barton. So that's a haul down by Qtrs. Easy call for the officials to make, and that puts the Stars on the power play to begin with. Bruce Cassidy's squad tested on the penalty kill early on up against Peter DeBoer's team. Sagan loses the face-off. McNabb grabs it. Controlling now as Pietrangelo fires this one down deep onto Ottinger. 2 minutes for holding. That is the official penalty for Qtrs. Heiskanen drops back. Moving it up is Duchesne. He is with Johnson. Duchesne to the left. Finds Sagan on the location. And around to the far side. Grabbed first by McNabb. Could not be cleared out, but here comes Jack Eichel. For the far side. Eichel has Pietrangelo with him. He prefers to do so. And that one knocked away. So we have a stoppage here. 4 minutes and 53 seconds into the first period. Heiskanen is out there as the power play quarterback number 2. And Heiskanen did a good job deflecting that one up into the netting. Jack Eichel is the leading scorer in this series for the Golden Knights. Heiskanen in this series has a goal. That combined with 4 assists so far in the series. Eichel with 7 points as the Golden Knights won another faceoff. This one bounced off Ottinger and collected by Hintz on this rebound. Bowled around for Jamie Benn, or I meant Miro Heiskanen. Left side, this goes for Ben. Back across, this one mishandled. Stoll picks this one up. 1-on-2 if he prefers to do so. Decides to send this one right across. Another shot, short-handed, this time by Noah Hannafin. And Ottinger will shut this one down. Have another stoppage at the 14:45 mark. Winner of this series faces the Colorado Avalanche in the second round. Bruce Cassidy won a Stanley Cup last year with this very team. The Golden Knights was fired from his position with the Boston Bruins after a first-round exit at the hands of the Carolina Hurricanes. Got the call from the Golden Knights to become their head coach just a week later. He agreed to it. Thomas Harley will lead this power play up. Left side is Jamie Benn for the left wing. Across. And this pass, the late man was Thomas Harley, but was so late in arriving to the offensive zone that the Stars were caught offside. Jamie Benn to take the faceoff opposite Nick Waugh and wins it. Harley across. Has to be skated on backwards by Dallas, and now Harley will restart. Harley wants to drop it back, doesn't do so, and instead sends the entry feed that was too far for Pavelski. McNabb picks it up, this one deflected up down. Lucky bounce. Vegas successfully clears and gets some line changes. Ben going inside, deflected away by Pietrangelo. Harley locates on the keep. With some help from Ben. Harley to the right side, now around for the boards. Hence around. Will be located by Pavelski and around for Jamie Benn. Had it poked away. Up front this goes to Eichel. Jack Eichel skating for the right point. All 5 Stars players on this man advantage unit. Back to defend. 14 seconds left on the man advantage. And that will get things going for perhaps the end of this. Maybe. We're 6 minutes and 8 seconds removed from the first period. Still waiting on our friend John. He joined along here. Face-off is won by Matt Duchesne and Miro Heiskanen. Moved this one up to the right side. This one took a bounce through center ice. Vegas picks this one up. That was a pitiful power play by the Stars to begin this Game 7. And that's not the way that Pierre DeBoer wants to go. He wants to improve to 8-0 all time in Game 7s. Offside, it's Dallas. Evgeny Dadonov caught. And we'll go to break here. We have played 6 minutes and 27 seconds here in Dallas, Texas. It's warm here, and the weather is nice. We'll be right back. So we're back in this game, as I am texting John because we're having troubles loading the space up. So far, I am recording this right now. Is save for later. Around this goes. All right, so now to start this one up. So back out this goes. So this is an emergency space that I just started because we're having space issues right now in the recording between John and I. But now, so this is behind the net. Tomas Hertl got this one up. We're scoreless, so yeah, didn't miss much on this. But nonetheless, it is scoreless. Pierre DeBoer, 8-0 in his career. That's what he's looking to go to for Game 7s career-wise. Now this face-off is won by Radek Faksa and dropped back over to Miro Heiskanen. To the far side, Craig Smith sends this one forward. It's past Sam Steele. Knocked forward behind the net. Steele moves around through the far corner. B. Martinez moving this one up for Stevenson. Chandler Stevenson gets this one up. Mark Stone. And around this goes Ryan Suter. Dropped this one backwards. Miro Heiskanen had it deflected up at the far side. Some bodies go down. 12:20 left in the first period. We still do not have a goal here. All for out. I'm getting John in here. Mark Stone chopped it around at his own defensive end. Sent backwards to Barbashev. Alex Pietrangelo moved it forward to Stone. And fans booing here as they are seeing Stone carry this puck. We had a little space trouble, so the space was not loading, so guess an emergency space at the startup. How are you doing, John?
I'm doing all right. Again, as we said, it wasn't loading. I got part of the play-by-play done, so if you want to carry this first, I can finish the second.
So as we're here in Dallas, it is warm outside at the northern side of Texas. It's good to hear warm temperatures at northern Texas, considering it's close to summertime or springtime, but it feels like spring weather outside, just the way that fans want it. We're at the 11:22 mark, and you didn't miss much because there's no scoring, even though both teams have combined for 6 shots already.
Yeah, I've watched a little bit of this game right now. There was a couple chances off the rush. They did get one power play, did Dallas, but they didn't do much with it.
Yeah, it was a pitiful power play. That was not a lot that they keep giving up. They kept giving up too many shorthanded breaks for the Golden Knights as this gets dumped in by Vegas. But they need to do better on that power play. But you made a good point about Vegas, that they're starting to figure out their lineups. They're starting to figure out their identity. That they are starting to figure out their defense altogether. That Bruce Cassidy is finding his lineups that he sees most comfortable. Sent in by Kolesar. Chris Tanev moves away with this puck and sweeps it out. Vegas back with this. Retreating back to center ice as Carrier got swept off. Chopped at it forward. Kolesar will take this up. Shoved away to the wall. Suter there. Through the near side, deflected forwards by Johnston, cleared out, back over to Dallas ice. It is Suter again, moved around this time. 10:15 to go, first period, taken on in by Tyler Seguin. Seguin moving down low, I think it's Evgeny Dadonov, if I'm not mistaken, it is. Dadonov to the far side, Duchesne tried to move this one backwards and goes forward to Dadonov. Seguin tied up with Shea Theodore. Stick lifted, moved aside for Pietrangelo, the ex-Blue, winning 2 Stanley Cups in a span of 5 years, split between the Blues and the Golden Knights. Hertl to the left, finds Theodore at the opposite side, near the benches. Cross-ice dump. Eichel and Suter right there simultaneously, with Suter sticking this one away. Heiskanen down deep, exchanging between Smith and I think Faksa, and it goes over to Aiden Hill, who kicks this one out. With 9:30 to go in the first period. Still tied up by Marchessault. Up for the middle. This is Hertl directing this to Marchessault. Harley got there, got bumped towards the near corner. Moved over to the point where it's Martinez on the keep. This one takes a pinball, bounce over to Smith. And Smith, the ex-Predator, gets shoved near the Vegas bench, but not before he sends this one up. Faksa ties up Martinez. Fans love that. Zach Whitecloud sneaks this one away. Lands onto Harley's stick. Near side shot flutters wide and behind the net. Not kept in by Thomas Harley, but now back inside comes Jason Robertson. Tic-tac-toe they go towards. Stankoven over to Harley. Had this one bounced off his stick several times. Over to the near side. Fired out by Vegas and skating back all the way. Lindell on the icing. Dallas gets an offensive zone draw.
So again, we're starting to see a little bit. Hopefully this game will pick up, but I imagined going into it yesterday after watching Toronto and Boston that this game might pick up a little bit more. Hasn't done so right now. We'll see if it will continue. Again, still buzzing from yesterday's game and David Pasternak's scintillating finish there off that great pass. And we'll see what happens on the Monday side. It's going to be a quick turnaround for the Leafs.
And Wyatt Johnston's shot blocked. Already you have 22 hits combined in this game. 12 for Dallas. They have the advantage in the physical play. Vegas, a more defensive team. They have a combination of physicality and stick checks. Jamie Benn there sends one golden knight towards the wall. Soder's shot. Hill is down. Johnston pokes it away behind, and that hit it. Hill is back up. Around for Johnston. Whiteclaw was there. Moves away, and now here's Hanifin. Hanifin trying to clear between the legs. Pass over to Stone. Taking on the Stars 1-on-2. Sends it down for the ice. Ottinger played it away. Stone gets it back for the near side boards. Only for Suter to pick this one back up. Taken inside by Sagan. And in his face, it was Theodore. Moving it away from here is William Karlsson. Had it knocked away from him, but collecting this back up is McNabb. Braden McNabb moves it up. Right on his face was Matt Duchene. Takes some bounces. That was some rocky bounces, but it finds Ottinger right behind the net. 7:45, and this is directed all the way to the Vegas end. Picking this back up is McNabb. Through the far side, near the benches. Vegas gets it in, cross corner. And Ottinger will just let this one go. Karlsson's tied up, so is Amadio. Karlsson trying to direct this one backwards. Moving it aside from Dadonov over to Duchene. Duchene from center ice. Above Hill. And picked back up by Pietrangelo. Lead pass directed on Forrest. Backhand pass. Did not go anywhere, but Karlsson on the keep. Does not go anywhere as well. Tanev there, trying to send this one out. Martinez all tied up by two Stars. Helping him out is Will Carrier. Martinez emerges. In comes Wah. He fires. This one might have been directed wide. Pietrangelo on the keep. Could not go any further than Thomas Harley. Steal. Bouncing puck moves around. Wah takes it back up. Racing to there is Tanev and Kolasar. Tanev goes down. Kolasar out in front. Nick Wah got tied up on the shot. Sam Steele pokes it away. Here comes a 2-on-2. Rushing back on defense is Kolasar. Steele sees him and instead decides to shoot this one behind Aiden Hill. Now out in front, this pass got broken up before the shot get materialized. Now the forward pass over to Nick Wah. 16 hits already for the Stars. Wah sends this over to the near corner. Foot race for it will be picked up by Dallas. Stankoven got tied up on the pass. On the keep, it is Marchessault. Jonathan Marchessault, one of the original misfits on this team. Down low is Hurdle at the near corner. Back down low at the right point is Fedor and across. Down low, this goes over to Jack Eichel. Back to the left point is Hanifin. Hanifin sends this one back over to Eichel, and Eichel's walking to left point. Cross-ice pass for Hanifin. Hanifin fires one up high. This juicy rebound is right in front of Ottinger. Hanifin plays it right around the right point. Marchessault down low. Had this one blocked off a Lindell's stick. We get a stoppage with 5:59 here. 4 shots apiece. No score.
So I know Alex is going to be a little bit ahead of me as far as the feed, but I'm starting to see Vegas settle down a little bit, especially defensively. That was a great play near the right side down for Nick Wah off the tie-up, and some good defensive work there for Vegas. Again, as you said, 4 shots on goal apiece. As we go to break, this is a defensive battle right now, and I think that's what Vegas needs.
Guess they're following the Boston-Toronto mantra from yesterday's Game 7.
That was a crazy game, was it not? Again, we talked about some of the changes that could have been made, and if you're the Bruins on the other side, you get to play an old foe and not much rest.
I mean, they did have some nice fettuccine Alfredo after that pasta party in Boston, as is mentioned. But David Pastrnak, he knew that Mitch Marner was going to be caught off guard, and the lack of effort from Marner was led to that point in which Pastrnak got so wide open, and a fortunate bounce off the far side of the corner, right to Pastrnak, right in front of Ilya Samsonov.
And again, I know you probably watched it. I had to reference this anyway because I knew we were going to talk about it. So I'm looking at the Steve Dangle video at the end because you know he's going to get a ton of views at the end of the season. And they said Jim Montgomery was seeking advice on how to win a Game 7. Who did he seek advice from? Mike Babcock. That's a laugh.
Oh, it's not just Mike Babcock, also John Cooper, who knows how to win these situations.
Right. So that just rubs as much salt in the wound as they possibly can. But I mean, hey, you got to be able to do it that way. And again, as we talked about, I think we hit the nail on the head of the moves that are going to be made. I'd be surprised if you see Shanahan, Keefe, or maybe even Marner. I think they're all leaving. And as we said, in between Matthews and Nylander, those are the guys that are staying. Especially Matthews has been excellent, but Nylander, I mean, he missed 3 games and still scored 3 goals, while John Tavares and everyone else had the same amount of points as Ilya Lyubushkin.
Oh, that's rough. With Tavares, he is crucial for winning faceoffs, as was shown in that Game 7. As we get back, that shot doesn't go anywhere. He was intending to have a deflection with Jack Eichel. That did not materialize. Lindell aired this one out for center to pass too far. I think that was Joe Pavelski on the line of Jamie Benn. Now here comes Jack Eichel. Curl and drag. Kicked out by Oettinger. The rebound in front. Swept away several times. Vegas almost had the first goal of Game 7. Oh, moly. This is their third ever Game 7. They are 1-1 these situations. Wyatt Johnston in. He scores! Wyatt Johnston, the hero, Game 3, gets the first goal of Game 7.
I know I'm going to see it now in real time, but that was a blitz from Vegas. And then I clear all the way down. You're going to tell me the youngster's going to do it again, Wyatt Johnston? What a steal and a roof shot. That almost seems like that's a complete avalanche. What a turnaround.
If we speak of avalanche, one of these teams are going to be facing that very team in the second round. But Dallas had to survive an avalanche of shots at their own end before they even got the steal from Wyatt Johnston. They fired at far side on Adin Hill to thread the needle. The smallest of windows available. There you go.
I remember just a few games ago, Alec, because you know we do. Jake Ottinger being called out, not being good enough. Where has that gone? And then Wyatt Johnston, I want to be a fly on the wall in the draft room board. Where do they keep finding these guys?
Jim Nill has to be a mastermind of finding diamonds in the rough. And as this one goes out onto the Vegas bench, we're going to go to a potential stoppage.
Man, that is crazy because, again, as we said, for Vegas, he had 3 shots on goal. The one just hit the left side post. Ottinger swimming in his crease. And then you get a brutal turnover just outside the circles. I'm seeing it now. Trying to be flipped by Theodore. What a read for Johnston, who just goes in and steals it near the left side blue line, goes in between the circles and snipes it.
Yeah, we're not going to commercial break right now, even though we have 5 minutes left in the first period. We'll keep onwards. But we may discuss about the second round series and a potential grudge match for the Boston Bruins. Now, as this puck goes out of play, that's the 7 point for Wyatt Johnston in this series. 4 goals, 3 assists. That ties for this series lead with Jack Eichel for 7 points.
That's absolutely crazy because, again, you tell me he's got 7 points. How many does Joe Pavelski got? He's bageled.
Oh, that's not a familiar sight to see. Joe Pavelski held off the score sheet. We don't see that often for the ex-Shark.
No, we don't. And again, as you talk about with the sense of the Dallas Stars, the one thing that makes them scary is their depth, and you're seeing it placed right there with a beautiful goal.
Offensively and defensively. Now, I want to touch on to the second round series. Now, as the Miami-Fort Lauderdale area waits for the beloved Panthers, they just witnessed a spectacle at the Miami Grand Prix. First career Formula One win for Lando Norris behind the support of Jimmy Butler.
That's pretty cool. Again, you got to go out and do that, try to show your support, because there's rumors going on with Jimmy Butler saying he might not be a member of the Miami Heat.
And if you're a member of the Heat, you have to do everything you can to keep him, help him out some more. That you didn't land Damian Lillard. Now, what do you do in free agency or at the trade block?
You got to do something, Alec. I agree, because, again, I understand the Heat culture, the Miami way, but sometimes when you're playing in the NBA, you know it better than anybody else, you need superstars every once in a while. I'd like to see Jimmy get some help.
Yeah, you would want to get that as much as possible. The other star player on that Heat team is Bam Adebayo. Tyler Hero, we can say that he works best as a sixth man, and the fact that he was starting in this and throughout the majority of the season and throughout the playoffs, I felt that took him out of his comfort zone a bit. So what do you do at the shooting guard or point guard position? Do you start Duncan Robinson, or do you give Jaime Jaquez Jr. some reps starting at the starting five?
I would say, Alec, because I've seen Duncan Robinson over the years, I do think he's a guy that can come off the bench and spray some threes, but I do like the game of Jaime Jaquez. I think he gets more reps going forward.
Yeah, I like Jaquez's game. He screams Heat culture all around. Whoa, this was close on the foot race. They say that Heiskanen was ahead of William Karlsson by several inches on the icing.
So we get that. Again, the hybrid icings, even they're going to mean a lot here with a lot of speed between both of these teams. So all-important offensive zone draw coming up. Team scoring first is 147-48 in Game 7 history. That's over 75%.
Yeah, that includes, the 48 includes yesterday when the Leafs scored first. That was their only goal as they ended up losing in overtime. We speak of photo finishes. Well, if you're a fan of horse racing, we saw another photo finish. That was Mystic Dan. Oh, this one sent wide. That was trying to get the second goal. Mystic Dan was ahead at the time of the finish in the 150th Kentucky Derby. Jamie Benn at the near corner tied up with Pietrangelo. Pietrangelo, all in sorts of trouble around him. Martinez helping him out as this puck was sent around. Vegas clears. Now they go down to the far side. William Karlsson sent around for the near boards. And around this one goes. Near corner, shoved towards the wall. Mike Amadio at the opposite corner, puck ridden off of him. Karlsson's bouncing puck. Amadio out in front. And this one lifted away by Heiskanen. Now this one goes out. And Thomas Harley helps out his goaltender, Jake Ottinger, and we have a shoving match afterwards between Harley and Karlsson.
Yeah, we're going to get a little bit of that between these two teams. Probably not as much as we would expect in this series right now, but there's been some good goaltending and some defense on both sides, Alec, in this game so far.
Yeah, and overall, the last 3 days of Stanley Cup action in the first round series. We already had a final score with the Carolina Hurricanes trying to come back in the third period, but those two power play goals by the New York Rangers, too much for the Canes to overcome. 4-3 the final score.
I feel like that's still going to be a long series. We'll see what happens when Carolina goes back to PNC, but maybe they can split.
Yeah, I feel this is going to be an even split. If it doesn't go 6 or 7, I feel this series might be a little disappointment. But we have a false start. Tomas Hertl tossed out.
Yeah, I would agree with you, Alec. I would hope at least it goes 6 or 7. Otherwise, the fans are going to be sad.
Yeah, especially me being the Canes, having my second team be the Canes. Dadonov's the dump in goes up high onto the safety netting, and we have some words between Tyler Seguin and one of the Vegas players.
We've had this puck open in the netting about 7 times already, and we had some fits and stops and starts. I know we went into this series kind of thinking, especially for this Game 7, I leaned it this way. I think Alec did as well. This is very important that Dallas got the opening goal because you want to make sure that you can stay in front of Vegas as much as possible.
Yeah, you want to keep away from the Golden Knights as much as you can and to shut this game down start to finish. While Dallas is known for their offense, they're a very underrated defensive team. And that's most of the talk about their offense showing out on full display, especially with the arrival of Pierre DeBoer. This one almost went onto the Vegas bench. 3:50 left on this period. Lindell sends it inside. And to the right side from Dadonov to Duchesne, who gets hauled down. Some Stars fans thought there should have been a penalty there. Here's Jack Eichel back the other direction. We stay 5-on-5. Help arriving for Eichel. Out in front behind the defense is Hertl. And Ottinger had that one swept away from him after the save he made. Braden McNabb will come back with this at his end of center ice. Backwards for Shea Theodore. Theodore looking onwards. 3:23 to go. Theodore twirling as more help arrives. Left side McNabb at the end of his shift. This one takes the deflection up, and this will go behind, but this was deflected before the red line, icing the call.
And if Hertl, that was a great pass there for Eichel after the save from Ottinger, but he just kind of ran out of room when he was trying to do the forehand backhand.
The only way that you're tucking this in is if you do a reverse Michigan, you would think?
Yes. Yeah, he really didn't have a lot of space. That was good defense there from Dallas in the back check.
Great shutdown by Jake Ottinger, who just followed that puck all around, provided Hertl no room to fire, and thus the stop was made. The faceoff is won by Nick Wall with help from Shea Theodore. To the far side, this gets deflected onwards. Dallas trying to pick this one up, had trouble doing so at first from Craig Smith, but secures it. For the near side, it takes a bounce and goes over to McNabb. Move forward to Colasar, stick lifted by Steele. Down the ice this goes, chasing after it, and arriving first is Theodore with some help from Aiden Hill. Colasar in trouble, Foxa got there. He substitutes in place of Ty Delandro with Foxa. He was on the injured list for the last few games. Chopped away at it, and here's Harley walking the point. Double teamed around by Carrier and Colasar, but the Stars are able to keep. For a brief second, McNabb around for the near end. And Vegas gets it out. Harley and Colasar are at it. Waugh and Steele bump into one another. Vegas is in. Here's Carrier to the net. But it's forced over to the near corner, out wide. Whitecloud at the right point. Now sends it over to Hannafin. Hannafin forced over at the left point by Robertson. Hannafin still walking the point. Drop pass over to Whitecloud. And back for Hannafin. This goes around. Waugh is down low. Tied up by Harley. Tries to find the upper man in front. The Stars got in the way. Cleared out with 2:05 remaining in the first period. Whitecloud having trouble this several times. Pinned towards the Vegas bench by Stankoven. And also there is Rope Hintz. Had it tipped out by Stone as Vegas is looking to get this one up. Hintz there, but tied away at it. Vegas moves this one up on the backhand from Chandler Stevenson, the ex-cap. Heiskanen, Hurdle got in the way, but it goes over to one of his teammates. And out this goes to center, deflected pass several times, chopped around several times from Barbashev, and Stone will send this one up to nobody. Lifted out by Dallas. Stankoven settles this one down, tied up by Martinez. Pietrangelo in the way, loose at the right point, poke forwards, and now backwards to Robertson, takes his one in, here's the 2-on-1. Robertson across, back this goes, Robertson couldn't fire it. Robertson keeping this one alive though, he holds this. Turnaround shot, did not materialize. 1:15 to go, pass behind the defense to Mark Stone, this one too far. Tanev arrives first for the icing.
Robertson had a chance there, but the give and go back from Hintz and Robo just didn't materialize as Aiden Hill was swimming near that right post. It could have easily been 2-0.
Yeah, easily could have been because Robertson, he was flying at the zone to force that 2-on-1 to happen. Tic-tac-toe, that's a nice pass to Hintz, and Hintz, the return feed to Robertson with the Golden Knights defense playing guesswork.
Yeah, and I'm really impressed with Dallas being able to get a ton of steals right now, and their forechecking work, especially with the sticks, has been excellent in this first alley.
Face-off win by Dallas. Johnson dropping back over to Harley. Around for the boards this goes. Thomas Harley still with this. Back to the point. Here's Hayes getting a long drive, and Hill shuts that one down with 61 seconds left.
Everybody continuing to stand and watch here at American Airlines. They want to see Dallas at least have a lead at the end of this first.
Yeah, great hockey market. A very underrated one as well, which is further proof that hockey does work in the South. You have to have the experience to back this one up and the hockey pedigree to back this. Such is the case when you have a Stanley Cup in your resume.
Absolutely. Again, especially when you got tons of good players, tons of talent. It's a good Stars team for the last few years.
This faceoff will come between Joe Pavelski and William Karlsson. Last minute of the first period is Pavelski winning it. Johnston, deep shot, did not go. And Vegas tried to get in the way of that. Some Stars fans are wanting an interference penalty. Harley will send this one over from the near to the far boards. The cross-ice pass, pickpocketed from Pavelski, and now here comes Karlsson, looking for some help. That help was tied up. And now Dallas will pick this one up. Here's a 3-on-2. Here's Harley moving in with Heiskanen. The cross-ice pass was broken up. And picking this one back up is Harley. What part of this bright Stars future? Sent down deep behind Hill. Re-picked back up by Theodore, had trouble securing it. Theodore will get this one right back like Thor's hammer. Now around it goes up front for Hurdle. And now moving in, this is Karlsson. Drop pass. Hurdle to the right. Amadio. Nothing there. Sent down for Dallas. No breakout for Tyler Seguin as Hannafin was on his face 10 seconds ago. Stars leading 1-0. Vegas tries to enter. Cross-ice pass took a little while to get to Marchessault. Marchessault turnaround shot with seconds remaining. Doesn't even get to Ottinger. And that will end the first period. 1-0 Dallas. The only goal from the game-free hero, Wyatt Johnston, who scored the game winner last year's Game 7 between the Stars and Seattle Kraken. And the Stars looking for this crucial victory.
Yes, they are. And again, for Vegas, the really only play of substance. It was a big one because Ottinger made about 3 saves. He had that buzz right out in front, about 3 chances, 1 miss near the right side post, and then Wyatt Johnston with a perfect read as he was able to get in the left side blue line, force a steal, get in between the circles, and then wrist it past Aiden Hill. An incredible effort, but again, as we mentioned, threw that out there a little bit earlier between Robertson and Hintz. A missed 2-on-1, but good active sticks there for the Dallas Stars. I think a really good defensive first period with them, and found Pater for number 53 as the rookie continues to shine.
Oh, 53 is such a special number. Sometimes when I watch the Canes, sometimes I think back to the days of when Jeff Skinner was around, but sometimes you have to feel bad for Jeff Skinner considering that he's played over 1,000 career NHL games without a playoff appearance. He's still looking for his first one with the Buffalo Sabres, but that still has yet to come.
Yeah, he's always a very skilled offensive player as well. I know he's dealt with some injuries and all, but you'd have to feel for somebody like him, as you said, because I would have expected at some point somebody at his caliber is going to find some playoff action, but it also tells you how hard it is to even get the playoffs or win a Stanley Cup.
Yes, it is very hard when you're on a team that's perhaps seemingly on an endless rebuild, but you do have some building blocks around like Tage Thompson, Dylan Cousins, Rasmus Dahlin, Owen Power. The talent is there. Plus, you have Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen on the come up. Devon Levi may need some more experience playing down at the AHL, some more time to build up his confidence. But when that time comes for him to truly emerge as a 1B to Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, and maybe he may get some reps as the 1B to Luukkonen.
I would think of that because you nailed it. I would also think of veteran leadership, a change in behind the bench, kind of reinvigorate everything because there's a ton of young talent. I think if you would have kept that team the way as it is, they're not ready to win yet because they just don't know how.
It is not there yet, but soon enough it's going to come. But then again, if we go from one New York team to another New York team, how about a 3-point night for Cinco de Zibanejad? Mika Zibanejad, 2 goals and 1 assist. Well, I know it was a bad take on the joke, but the primary assist on the power play to Vinny Trocheck, especially when you have Zibanejad firing shots from OV's office. That's his comfort point.
Yeah, Mika Zibanejad is a playoff performer all the time. I think he strikes fear in my heart every time I see him. I love to watch him, but I can't imagine having to play against him. And I can't help but think, because I've seen the salt being rubbed in as well. Andrew Kopp makes the same amount of money as Vincent Trocheck. It would be nice to get Vincent Trocheck in a Red Wing uniform. He's working out pretty well as a member of the Blue Shirts. My goodness.
Yeah, Trocheck, a nice offensive and defensive center, two-way center, some would say, who can also work hard to earn his goals, each and every one of them. Such was the case on the man advantage. Artemi Panarin, the bread man, had the other goal for the Rangers. That's the other 5 goal in which the Rangers had. Zibanejad has the first one. Alexis Lafreniere in his 4th year with the Rangers, arguably playing his best hockey of his career this season.
Yeah, and again, Alec, I say the same thing like I said with Robo and Jake Ottinger and some of that. Can we give some of these young kids some time before you throw all these impossible expectations on them? I understand he was the number 1 pick, but he's still got plenty of years left on his resume, and he's playing pretty well.
Yeah, that's why some people would make the comparison for Alexis Lafreniere closer to that of Daniel Sedin. Give him some time, and he'll fully develop and materialize into the player that you want him to be. That's why it took Daniel Sedin some time before he became a true player that he was hyped up to be until year 4. Sometimes it takes time to develop these young guys, and when you set the bar way too high, you're setting these kids up for failure. But it's the exceptional ones, they get a pass, they are getting the bar way up high to begin with because they're expected to perform immediately, such as the case with Connor Bedard, who delivered.
Yeah, again, and I would talk about that because I don't want to rattle your brain too much here, but I also saw some of the things with Cale Makar, and they were already drawing some comparisons saying that he's a better defenseman than Nick Lidstrom. Cale Makar just started. I know he's got a Stanley Cup, a Hobie Baker, and a bunch of other things, but let's give him some time as well and let him dominate.
I mean, to be fair for Cale Makar, he's already one of the top defensemen in the NHL today. We're not sure about already better than Nick Lidstrom. Let's give it time and for time to catch up because Lidstrom has the pedigree and the legacy to back up his claim when you have 4 Stanley Cups in the span of 12 years and anchor your defense for that long through the empire, you deserve to be considered one of the best defensemen in the NHL.
Yeah, when you're anchoring your defense in your 40s, I mean, that's really tough to do at that time, but that's what he did. Again, I'm looking at the box score as well going across. For Carolina, Jacob Slavin, as you mentioned, Marty Necas, and Seth Jarvis with a goal in 18-15 to try to get close. I still feel, alongside Alec, this is going to be a deep series. Carolina's going to have to steal one of these on the road. That's just the way that it works out here. I think that they can do it, but this game, too, is going to be important because I think Carolina can go into PNC and tie the series at 2. We've seen them do that. We've seen them do that in the last time these teams met up in the playoffs, but it would behoove them, really, Alec, to go 1-1. They got to get a split here.
You have to get a split, no matter which way possible, because the Hurricanes, they have their strength at home ice. On the road, that's where they've been lacking under Rod Brind'Amour as a head coach. Now, he is a great player, don't get it wrong, but Brind'Amour as a coach, he's still one of the best, but he has to learn how to win games in the playoffs on the road.
Yeah, and again, as you talk about, that's why you bring in players like Jake Getzel to kind of alleviate some of that. I understand that they're missing some pieces right there without Brett Pesce, and that definitely hurts because when you got Tony DeAngelo on there, I think Tony DeAngelo is more of an offensive defenseman, correct? He's not going to bring what Pesce does.
Yeah, he's not going to bring what Pesce is bringing on both sides of the ice. DeAngelo is more of a one-dimensional offensive defenseman. He's purely there for offense and on power play time. That's what he's there for the Hurricanes about. But he's being played on a spare role, so he's mostly being utilized on 5-on-5, not a lot of power play time.
So that is something to watch out for, to see if they can get Pesce back in and then try to kind of make something out of it. I think Carolina's still got a long way to go, though. They'll be fine. We'll see if they can split. 22 out of 25 for Shesterkin. Freddie Anderson, 19 of 23. I'm just looking a little bit ahead. Again, we have the Bruins and Panthers. That already scheduled in on Monday at 8:15 on ESPN. Tuesday side, we're still waiting for the times to be determined, but Hurricanes and Rangers. Everything on the ESPN side is not punched in for the Western Conference just yet, so we're still waiting for this Game 7 to finish.
Yeah, I feel they already got the announcer confirmation about Chris Cover and Craig Simpson for Vancouver Edmonton now that the Bruins and Maple Leaf series is over. So that puts the question about where the other announcers would go between Hunter Ryan signing with Louis DeBrusque and John Bartlett with Gary Galley. I'm just not sure who is going to get who because they've announced that John Shorthouse and Dave Tomlinson's seasons are done. But if you're a Canadian and you're wanting to watch all 4 of these series, you'd figure that the Canadian broadcast will have all 4 series on Sportsnet and CBC, and not just 3 of them, with one of them being simulcast from the US feed.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense, Alec. And again, I don't want to throw any shade at Chris Cuthbert, Craig Simpson. They're fine. I find them a little vanilla as far as doing all that. I know when we do our play-by-plays and all that, I know we're not super professionals just yet here, but I do like the intensity of a broadcast and trying to bring in facts. That being said, I lean into John Shorthouse for Vancouver because I think he does an excellent job. It's kind of crazy he's not covering his own team.
It's crazy because Shorthouse, he's a true professional in the business, much like with Rick Ball with the Calgary Flames when he covered that first-round series between Calgary and Dallas.
I completely agree. We lean in the same spot on that side, so it's kind of weird that he's not doing it, but I know Shorty will be missed, at least for my side, because even when I watched some of that stuff on CBC, when they had a couple of their old guys that were there, they were still doing the series in between the Bruins last year. So it's a shame, but that's what we got right now. I just don't understand how you said with the simulcast. That just doesn't make sense.
I mean, simulcasting, if you're the Canadian feed, I feel it should be for the first round only because it's too much series to cover and not enough announcers for Canada on the national broadcast. If you want to get all 4 broadcasting teams that you have for the second round available to cover each series is each.
I agree. I know we're looking at some of the stuff on TBS right now alongside Paul Bissonnette. I don't know what they're going to do with the punishments, but supposedly Liam McHugh and Paul Bissonnette are going to get a punishment happening to them because certain teams lost, apparently, I saw.
Yeah, the bet was that if the Islanders go further than the Maple Leafs, then Paul Bissonnette will have to get an Islanders tattoo on him. if the Maple Leafs go further than and the Islanders, then Liam is going to have to get a Maple Leafs tattoo on him. And I think Biz, if it is the Islanders advancing further, I heard that he may also get pied in the face. But since neither the Islanders and the Leafs advanced, then the fans will have to decide. Which I feel, I'm conflicted on that because I felt that there should be a tiebreaker for who lasts longer in the first round. Which in such case, Liam may be the one getting the punishment. But now it's up to the fans.
That's a good tiebreaker to me. I would lean that way, Alec. That's what they should have done. I did laugh when I did hear Liam say, no face tattoo. Stop asking.
Oh, well, speak of face tattoos, I'm not going to mention it because of the Drake and Kendrick beef.
I did see, and I'll keep this short, I've looked about 30 seconds or whatever. I guess it takes Kendrick, 4 or 5 years to release an album. He is a lyrical mastermind, correct? But then he's got about 4 diss tracks in a span of 2 days. So good luck to Drake's camp. That's all I'll say.
Basically so, because if this keeps on going, then Kendrick might as well drop a full album of diss tracks right at Drake. It's getting so bad. And with Drake is getting exposed at every detail that I don't want to say it now.
No, it's bad. There's a lot going on there, and I would assume there's enough stuff to know that it's not all false. So again, yeah, there's things that are going on, but yeah, if Kendrick, you said it perfectly. If this continues, he's going to get a full album of diss tracks, and he's not the one you want to go after. And I did see something that was pretty funny, and I won't keep it all wrapped, but it is kind of funny. They mentioned J. Cole on some of the memes, and he's just sitting it out. He's a smart man.
I mean, J. Cole's a humble guy. I don't think he's the type of person to go after anyone in a long-term basis. So I respect J. Cole's decision. And as for NBA, well, Game 7 between the Cavs and Magic happened. It was the big stars showing out. Donovan Mitchell with 39, with 9 rebounds and 5 assists. Paolo Banchero with 38, 16, 2, with 3 steals. But it's the Magic that come up short by 16 points. Cavs advanced 106-94. The home team has won every game of this 7-game series.
I still can't believe that, but it is true. We've gone through it. Again, we've watched Donovan Mitchell. I'm not going to say grow up because the spider's already here, but when you give up 15 out of 17 from the line, yeah, that's tough because you lose by 12. But I will say this. We talked about it from the beginning of the year with the Orlando Magic. I remember joking with you and saying, Alec, are they really first in the Eastern Conference? Yep, go check the numbers. Yes, they are. They were strong all year. And I will say, even in a loss, 38-16 for Paolo Banchero. That's ridiculous. What an effort for the young man.
And while he's playing for Team USA instead of Team Italy, well, Italians may have to feel happy about Banchero's performance. I feel if the Magic keep this up, I feel the Magic may gain the support of most Italians.
They would, and honestly, I hate to say it this way, but when you had Penny Hardaway and Shaq, and you had the lottery balls fall the way they did, I know they had some pretty good memories there. I know they did lose to Michael Jordan on that side of one of the series back in the 90s, but this might be the team with the most talent. I understand you had Dwight Howard, Stan Van Gundy, and they did make an NBA Finals where they lost to the Lakers and all that and Kobe Bryant. But still, this Orlando team, there hasn't been too many times where you had this much talent. This might be the most that they've had in a long time.
Yeah, this might be the deepest Magic team that we've seen so far in this era. Comparing this to the Shaq and Penny Hardaway Magic or the Dwight Howard, Rashard Lewis, and Jameer Nelson Magic. You have the Paolo Banchero, Jalen Suggs, Franz Wagner Magic now. Everything's materializing. This team is deep when you have a litany of players that can score and strike fear into anyone's eyes. Don't forget about Cole Anthony.
Yeah, a pretty good player. I'm sure Greg is very happy with his son playing well. He continues to play well. I know I asked you this question, but I feel like I have to do so again. For the Cleveland Cavaliers, what's their ceiling?
I don't know. It's just confusing to me. But I feel it could also depend on if Jarrett Allen is healthy. But when you're going up against the Boston Celtics, and you have Cavs fans at the stands chanting, "We want Boston." That chant feels like a death sentence.
Yeah, I don't know. Didn't they learn from, and I know it's not the same sport, when Toronto was chanting "We want Florida"? Stop chanting for teams.
Well, it only worked for 2 teams last, remember. The New York Islanders chanted that in advance of the second round series against the Bruins, and the Islanders beat the Bruins. However, that came back to bite them for the semifinal when they were chanting "We want Tampa." They got Tampa in 7 games. The Rangers, they were chanting "We want Houston." Literally the series after Twins fans were chanting "We want Houston." The Twins got bounced. The Rangers went on to win the World Series.
Yeah, I tend to kind of stay away from wanting certain matchups, and you pretty much diagram that all for us, because for me, you play who you play, you just focus on that. The fans just enjoy the theater, because when you get caught up into it, sometimes you get caught into a buzzsaw.
Yeah, basically. Hey, John, do you want to take the second period?
I'll take the second period, and then I'll probably close it out. We'll do a switch, because I had you close out overtime last time, so I'll close out the final 10 minutes of the third, and I'll take the second.
All right. That sounds like a plan here.
So I appreciate you bringing up the emergency space. Honestly, I got it all set up. I got it all linked out. Then when I went to go start it, it didn't start.
I mean, that's weird. Sometimes it doesn't start at all. I got that several times in which some spaces were not loading up because it had some problems loading up. Might be Wi-Fi or anything, but now that's all good. Every one of the Wi-Fi issues has been resolved since then, so I don't have to worry about that. I don't know what's the situation on your end.
No, I wasn't sure either. I do remember sometime last year during the Stanley Cup Finals, in between Vegas and Florida, they were doing something in the Senate, and they were trying to make sure to get everybody on a large space. I couldn't even do game 1, so hopefully we don't have any situations like that happening to us in June.
Oh, that was certainly a confusing time. So we may be coming back onto this game soon enough. But between the Cavs Magic Game 7, Rangers Canes Game 1, I felt like this game tonight, this may be the main event.
I think it's fair to say, at least for us, I know that NHL is, I wouldn't say a niche sport, but it's still behind the NFL and the NBA, Major League Soccer, all that stuff, soccer across the board. But this is a big one, and I want to see what happens, because I leaned at Dallas in 6. That's what I took. Now we're playing 7 games. Dallas has the lead. Dallas does not want to pull a Toronto. I think they're good enough to kind of hold on to this. They're going to need to score more than 1. This is not going to be a 2-1 game, I don't think.
And not like yesterday when we saw David Pastrnak get Boston into a frenzy. I know the entire city of Boston and the Bruins are now at that realization phase, John, like what you said.
There they are, because now, okay, you won. You get the utter elation here for Sunday and take the plane ride, go over to Sunrise and go, oops, now we got to play the Florida Panthers. So, I mean, you get the little bit of a celebration, which you deserve. I mean, you get to pass the first round, doesn't matter where you play. Obviously celebrate. But now when you're playing against the Panthers, you get to the realization of, okay, Swayman's excellent. You might need to even play Olmark at least for a game or 2, only because you're going to need the rest. And then see what happens, and hopefully they try to make the series a long series, but I just don't know. Florida's really good.
Yeah, they are. Take it away, John. Second period.
So now, I'm officially getting the puck drop here, as this is sent back down now. Nick Waugh able to get this one ahead. There's 4 Dallas Stars against 1 Vegas Golden Knight, as this is near the left side of the red line. It's 1-0 lead for the Dallas Stars. Alec Nava called our only goal right now, unassisted from Wyatt Johnson. It was a great steal from the left side. Blue line worked his way in the middle of circles and sniped it to the right side of the mess pass. Hill, who gets his second straight start. Now Dallas find the entry near the left side red line and send this one in. Alec Martinez will watch. It's dangerous, and behind the net now, Keegan Kolesar gets a chance to pick this up again. He was just activated a couple games ago. He's a bottom 6 forward that can provide some punishment. Find the entry off a flip in. And looking behind them is Martinez trying to locate the puck as Kolesar will see this one go near the left side of the post. Picked up now for Tomas Hertl, former San Jose Shark. Leaves for Eichel. Eichel now. Sweet play off the backhand. He'll have to spin. He's has no space, just to let this one go, and it's blocked out before it ever hit Ottinger. This one's sent down the ice, and this will be blown dead against Dallas.
I know about Vegas, about the lineup that they're messing up, and that they're starting to find a comfort with the lineups that they're providing. Sometimes a mix and match between who is going to play next to Jack Eichel and Jonathan Marchessault. Sometimes it's Ivan Barbashev, other times it's Tomas Hertl. Either which way, Bruce Cassidy is not wrong with either.
No, he's not. Now, before I jump back into this again, they got to find a way to get Jonathan Marchessault going, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Even though he has 2 goals and 2 assists, for the reigning Conn Smythe Trophy winner, he needs more.
Yeah, he's a guy that can give you about 5 or 6 in a series, and that's kind of what Vegas has been used to. I know that's a lot of heavy lifting, but if you look at Vegas over the last few years, that's their guy.
That's their go-to guy, as we now get the stat for most Game 7 wins by coach or manager. Red Auerbach, 8-0. Peter DeBoer has a chance to join him as the only other undefeated coach or manager to go 8-0 in Game 7s. The next closest, Daryl Sutter, who is 8-3 in his career in Game 7.
I'm going to say something maniacal here, but I want to see Daryl Sutter be a bench boss for the Leafs. Why not? Let's just make it crazy.
Oh, don't remind Flames fans of what previously happened.
Michael, as this one gets sent in now, Heiskanen will pick this up off the Ottinger clear and send this back and around the net. Harley make a good outstretched pass from 60. Pavelski, he wants to get on the score sheet, and Dallas would be up by 2 if he does so right now, as this is picked up here for Suter. Former Pred, he's been around for a while. I know his best days are behind him. Here's a wrister, a big save for Hill. They're on the left side, but they still can depend on Suter on the third line roll-on defense. Delayed offside, hand in the air, no problem, goes back to Dallas. As Suter starts this again from Lundqvist. And this one sent down the ice, and it'll be blown dead again.
Oh, that might be a photo finish case of icing, because it looked like Matt Duchene was closer to the puck than the approaching GoldenEye. I'm not sure who was closer, but Adin Hill under siege, and one of his defenders, his teammates, prevented a rebound goal from Joe Pavelski. Sweet stick in the way. Was that Hannafin?
I think that was, again, another flame as we talk about getting close there. Again, that was almost the same photo finish as you referenced in the Derby. Somebody needs to frame that photo there with Mystic Dan and the other couple horses there, because we had a 3-horse finish all within a fraction of a fingernail. It was pretty incredible. This will go all the way down the ice again.
Oh, you reminded me of that NASCAR race at Atlanta between Daniel Suarez, Ryan Blaney, and Kyle Busch.
Yeah, we've seen some incredible finishes across sports, and we're hoping that this Game 7 for our segue, John Utter with you alongside Alec Nava, can provide the same thing. Again, Dallas broke the mold, being the first team to win a game on home ice. Then Vegas comes back and responds in Game 6, and now Vegas, up against the ropes, needs to find a way to tie this game and continue along. And then they're going to play the Colorado Avalanche. We'll see what happens, though. Near the left side line, Jimmy Benn sends this one in. Again, Jimmy Benn able to play all 7 games in this series. It wasn't that way in between the Western Conference Finals last year. Again, he lost a couple games with suspensions. Tyler Seguin, as he's out ahead, but he will spin back near the right side dot. Opportunity now, try to bank this off the outside of the cage. And now Dallas with Matt Duchene will give chase, but it's Wild Bill. William Karlsson sent it in off the long flip. But what do you know? Dallas's defense is back when Toronto's wasn't. We get an ice.
So the defense a step ahead that time around, not causing an icing photo finish with 16:44 seconds. But so far, kind of slowed down the action here in the second period. Much like it's down to a defensive game like what these two teams' strengths are.
Yeah, it is. And again, I mentioned to you whether or not I feel like it favors Vegas or favors Dallas. Again, I did say favored Vegas, but now Dallas is ahead, courtesy of Wyatt Johnson. So at some point, Vegas is going to have to break out of that shell and start to press a little bit. And the other part is Dallas can counter with the best of them. They are a very good team across the board, very well-rounded, specialty teams, everything, even strength as well, as this is near the left side red line. This will be put in across. Rope Hintz tries to make a dive at it, but Alex Pietrangelo make the outstretched pass. There's an opportunity. Keegan Kolsar able to stay on side. There's a cross pass for Nick Waugh. Nick Waugh is another one of those guys in the bottom six that could play a top six role, especially in the second line center, but Vegas is deep, and they're still not even using Anthony Mantha as this goes down near the right side for Martinez. The multiple-time Stanley Cup champion with Vegas and the LA Kings will send this one ahead. Pick up now for Marchessault. He's got nowhere to go here as this is put in behind the cage. And Hurdle off the pin. Can Marchessault locate it? Just a series of cross-checks from Sam Steele. And now Dallas with the long flip. This goes across neutral zone. Must be play with a hand pass.
Yep, clear as day. Shea Theodore play with his hand. Easy call for the officials to make. So for Tomas Hurdle and Jonathan Marchessault now at the same line with Hurdle, he needs to step up his game more. But as we noted earlier about you can't go wrong with putting him with Eichel or Chandler Stevenson on the line. He has just 1 point this series.
Yeah, Chandler Stevenson is another guy that I like to mention over the years. They need him as well. He can be a Swiss Army knife and be in that top six. Vegas needs some other scoring. Again, we talk about Stone and Eichel. I'm really not worried about them. Marchessault, a little bit of a dip, but still pretty good. But you just need a little bit more, as this is near the right side, or maybe Dallas's defense is that good. Eichel, here's an opportunity as this goes down near the left side. This is still trying to get wrapped around off the forehand, and Dallas will steal it. So be gloved all the way down for Jack Eichel, defensively responsible in his own end. He'll make the outstretch, able to stay on side. Nice pivot. Arnold trying to make a play. He was out waiting on Drew, who did not give him space.
That's going to go on the highlight reel for the Golden Knights for next season or the next playoff series, no matter where they go from here. Add that to the highlight reel. That was a sweet move.
Yes, it was. Again, Hurdle, they added him up there for a long-term extension alongside Hannafin. You got some key depth. You got players that you know are going to be good going forward. And I imagine, Alec, we had this conversation before, but even if Vegas doesn't win this series, I still think Vegas is going to be a factor for several more years to come.
Yet they're in good hands still, no matter if they finish in the first round or later in this playoffs.
Stevenson, draw against Sagan. He's down to a knee. The ref gets taken down, and Vegas can't win this draw. Duchesne was trying to push ahead, and some more body contact as this goes into the players' bench. A lot of stops and starts here so far in the second with 14:47.
It feels like we're getting a whistle every few minutes here.
Yeah, I'm trying to put the treadmill on running speed, but right now it's keeping me in a slow jog.
Just for the moment, it feels like it takes the time to make me stop and think about the Kyle and Kyle show over at Kansas. The Kansas race got delayed because of rain. It's back on right now. Kyle Busch ahead of Kyle Larson for the moment.
Again, I've talked about it some of the times at MIS in Brooklyn and Michigan. When it's raining and they dry the track, it takes about an hour and 20 minutes, so it's no fun waiting those out. The Tigers game got a little bit delayed there with the Yankees. Yankees swept the series that finished in 8 innings. As Dadonov now puts this around the left side for Theodore. Barbashev, he's another guy that needs to get going. Trying to drop for Stevenson. Good stick in the lane, but this is with Dallas. Off the backhand, Dadonov trying to circle. Evgeny now leaves it to his defense. Harley from Heiskanen. Here's a good pass near the left circle. And I think I just got shot high as Vegas able to escape the pressure. Barbashev and Stone will crisscross. Harley, he's been really good on the top line support. Vegas steals. Good diving shot block. This is still in the offensive zone, however. Stone, captaincy. He'll turn. He runs into Sagan. Who's got the puck? Barbashev trying to find it. Sohm now still with it somehow near the left side. Barbashev not giving up on the play. He tried to drop it to Stone, but it's right into the arms of Dallas. Now one-on-one rush. Radek Faksa, I haven't got a chance to call his name that much. As Carlson, Stone gets the entry near the right side. Good Dallas defense again. Their sticks in the lane have been prevalent in this game so far. I think that's the reason why this is 1-0. Shots on goal are just 9-8. This is near the left side. Harley can't find it in between his skate blades. Now a 2-on-2. As able to find the entry here is Smith. Smith now put this around the end boards. It's picked off. And now Vegas survives it near the right side red line. Too far for Carlson off the clearing. And this will be sent back around. And now the Dallas defense gets a chance to start again alongside Essen Lindell and Chris Tanev. This will be sent back down now for White Club. Off the spin, Noah Hannafin, and he's still got some sweet moves. He doesn't have to play as much offensive game as he did in Calgary, as it's Nick Waugh put this around the end boards now. Opportunity for Hurdle, but he gets all tied up. This is bounced up in the air, bounces off the Waugh's glove, and then cleared in tied to Landria. Rope Hintz tried to send it across near the left side. Hintz put it back around now for Ty. Ty, here's Hintz wide open, and Hill, this one goes wide, but I'm not sure how.
Whew. That was so much. We finally get an extended period of play now this time around. Rope Hintz and several other stars with great looks to go up 2-0 for Dallas here. That's a curl and drag. I think this might have went off of one of the Golden Knights or might have bounced off the top of the crossbar and out of play and onto the safety netting. But we pointed out Thomas Harley earlier. He made that sacrificial shot block to deny the Vegas tying goal, perhaps.
Yeah, and again, I got to give a correction on myself for number 11. Logan Stankoven, it was the one in behind the pass. I'm thinking about Delandria, so I'll make sure that I get that across, get a chance to see the youngster a little bit more. I'll finally get my memory corrected. That was set out right in front for Robe Hintz. And as you said, maybe kissed the top of the crossbar, but the whole side of the right mesh was open as Aiden Hill was down and out. But we go to break.
Yeah, Ty Delandria, he's a healthy scratch for today with Radek Faksa slotting back into the lineup. Do remember, Faksa, he was out hurt for the majority of the series. Mason Marchman has played just 2 games this series. He's still on the injured list.
And Mason Marchman, it's a shame for him because I remember in the last couple of years, especially last year, he was kind of thinking that he needs to push a little bit, get more offense. He was doing very well before he got hurt.
Yeah, in that contract year with the Florida Panthers. Unfortunately, he priced out the Panthers' plans and got right onto Dallas wearing his father's old number, Brian.
And again for the Panthers, because you said it right, Panthers, it's going to be hard to afford everybody when you got guys like Montour and Barkov and Kachuk and Verhaeghe and Reinhart. You just can't afford to pay everybody. And then, oh, by the way, you still got Bobrovsky's contract.
Yeah, not to mention that Sam Reinhart had his best year of his career on a contract year. I don't know if he's priced himself out of Florida's plans, but you need to pay up. You have to pony up because with him having a $6.5 million cap hit, he might be asking for way more than that. At least $9 million with the salary cap going up.
Again, I feel like I do this all the time, Alec, and I hate to say it, but Steve Yzerman, call the man.
I know, being the Detroiter that you are, me, the Pittsburgher that I am, I wish the Penguins can get him.
You would say the same thing. He's a great player. Matt Duchene now near the right side. Tanev will watch. Duchene gets it. Tanev slaps it. This one is stopped near the left side dot and Tyler Seguin. Send this back around the end boards now. White Cloud back to the other number 3. Tanev. Get this one across. Seguin. Good touch pass to Shane. He lets it go for the screen and now off this face-off when Dallas has some sustained puck possession as everybody's continuing to stand. Vladimir Heiskanen jerseys, Robertson, well represented here for the Stars, and as they should be. Near the right side, here's a drop. Picked up now near the right side dot. Still trying to get this. The Shane, this was out in front. Aiden Hill was being bothered. This will get sent all the way down. This will be blown dead against Vegas. I don't think they're going to mind, though. They were kind of stuck in their own end.
Yeah, they were getting hounded at their own. Yeah, Dallas was going to get hounded at their own end, but Vegas needing all the attack that they can get. They were all out on it. But now Dallas can't change. Or is it Vegas that can't change? But Dallas, they were exhausted on all fours. It was just literally nothing for them to get out of it. But Vegas, they get a break for a while.
This will be flipped down again. So maybe for Bruce Cassidy's squad, you can start to take the change. They're doing so now since they're near the bench. Pavelski leading the rush, and Ben gets a shot. But Pavelski now sends it back. Aiden Hill, he's just trying to keep his crease clean. He was pushing people out of the way back to the stand-up, kind of like Billy Smith back in the day. Here's a wrister. This one's sold by Hill.
Billy Smith. I'm kind of not familiar with the name, but when I think goal scorers, you think of the legendary guys like Alex Ovechkin, Mike Bossy, Wayne Gretzky to a whole, but you have players who are trying to emulate their games of the legends of the past.
Let me give you some homework here, Alec. Before you go to sleep, go on YouTube and look at some Billy Smith, the goaltender for the New York Islanders. Anybody that's in his crease, he would just whack him with the stick.
We talk of legendary goaltenders now.
Yes. So Wyatt Johnston, that's what I want you to look at. That's pretty crazy, but that's what they used to do in the 80s. As this is sent across, again, a little bit before my time, but I still enjoy it. It's still 87 for me. As this is sent back around now, Ottinger, and this will go all the way down. The icing is waved off, however. We're almost halfway through the second. Tomas Hertl, try to find the entry. He already had a couple sweet stick drags. We'll get a windmill, try to go ahead and get to this puck, but this will be with the Dallas defense. It's pinned near the left side red line. Joe Pavelski was a dangerous pass. But now Dallas able to get the offensive end. Radek Faksa joining it off the screen. And Aiden Hill got wiped out. He made the save, though. And Vegas gets it the other way. Eichel with a sauce. This goes harmlessly off the right side boards. Now behind the cage. Marceau tried to bank it out in front, but Dallas defense, 4 of them collapsed in front of the net. Not letting anybody get a lane to Jake Ottinger. And right now, Dallas, I'm not saying they're playing for a 1-0 game, but their defense is playing good enough to lock it down at that point. Vegas is going to have to find something here. 9:45 left to go in the second, as this is in across the Texas D. Now near the left side. Stone, here's a pass, but it gets sticked away before it ever hit Barbashev. Stevenson, off his back skate, stolen Barbashev, and this is saved by the left pad of Otter. Now around the left side, this is Lindell. This pass picked off, and Vegas will settle it all the way back down. Noah Hannafin will go ahead and start again. It's kind of crazy that he's on the third defensive line right now for Bruce Cassidy, because he would be on the top for the Flames. Here is an opportunity. Stone, away for his defense. Here's a long wrister, stopped by Ottinger, rebound. This one goes wide. Thomas Harley on a long shift, about 2 minutes, 20 seconds. Stone now. As this is near the right side, and Dallas gets it out, but this goes on the players' bench.
Ivan Barbashev's shot took a weird deflection from Mark Stone out in front, but that's the dirty area of the ice that Stone finds himself comfortable at. A wacky deflection, but not before Radek Faksa almost saw this one deflect one wide. Aiden Hill sprawling to the left side, trying to stop it. It just sails wide of him. And he wasn't tested at all on that shot, but Barbashev almost had that deflection right in front from Stone.
Yes, he did. And I even see Sam Steele in the picture alongside that in Radek Faksa. I can maybe talk about, I know it's a 7-game series, and we'll still have to wait and see how it finishes, but Dallas's bottom 6, they're hanging in there against Vegas's bottom 6, aren't they?
Yeah, everyone's hanging in there.
Yeah, I think it's been good depth right now for the Dallas Stars, and has to show that way against the Vegas Golden Knights. Honestly, I know the way it works out in between wildcard 2 and number 1 seed, this is the matchup that we can get. Alec and I won't kid ourselves, though. I mean, this should have been a matchup that we could have watched again in maybe round 2, round 3. It's a shame that one of these teams is going to get eliminated after tonight.
Yeah, I felt this was perhaps a Western Conference semifinal matchups if it were for the 1 through 8 seedings. But we look at both sides. This would be a Western Conference quarterfinal matchup, even with the 1 through 8 seedings for it, but might be the most interesting 1 through 8 matchup if we were to go back to the 1 through 8 seedings.
Yeah, I have to think so. That's where I would lean too, Alec. That's why I kind of covered 3 of the games in this series. I didn't want to try to be too much of a gluttonous. I do try in the first round to get to every series, but I will say, admittedly, and this is partially my fault, when I'm looking at the series in between the Rangers and the Caps, it wasn't because I was salty that I didn't want to cover that because neither one of our teams made it. I just didn't expect the Caps to get a win.
We were not expecting it at all. We were thinking a sweep by the Rangers, and it happened. But period. The Capitals, they felt like they were outmanned and outgunned at every turn. And you point to that negative goal differential. It was way behind everyone else. Bottom 10 in the league.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. To be one of the worst all-time ever for a playoff team to make it. As this is now Jamie Benn trying to push this the other way. Shots on goal are 12-10. The only goal that we had was Wyatt Johnson unassisted in the first period. That's still where we are right now. And I'm looking, as we continue to do this play-by-play and hand it off to Alec in third period at the top of the 10 minutes, I'm looking for a lane here for Vegas to be able to score a goal. And right now, courtesy of the Dallas defense, I don't see one. Here's traffic out in front of the net, and even though Ottinger was down, it got blocked before it ever got to him. And now Wyatt Johnston will watch as this one gets sent in, finishes hit. Now Robertson trying to join in on the fun. Block shots are 10-9, but it really feels like a lot more than that. Vegas actually has the lead there. Former St. Louis Blues captain, Alex Pietrangelo, again, he won a cup there. He's also won a cup with Vegas. They'll settle it down. You can't have any more unnecessary penalties like he did against Tyler Seguin. Kind of cost him the game. Nick Waugh, as this goes in near the right side, trying to be recollected by Vegas, and now it'll be an opportunity. Stankoven able to send this one back ahead. This will get bounced a couple times. Vegas overskates it on the pass. And now the left side red line gets cleared in by Dallas as it's slowed down by Aiden Hill. McNabb with his outstretch from 60. Try to find the entry now near the right side wall. Absorb a hit. Does Keegan Kolsar as you got the bottom pairing out there for Bruce Cassidy's squad. Tyler Seguin. He's been pretty good in this series right now, although I feel he's been snake-bitten as far as scoring goals. It's not for the lack of trying. He's been near the left side post, but he's been denied by Aiden Hill about 6 straight times over the last couple games. And he gets a reverse hit. Matt Duchene stays with the puck. Eichel and tries to bounce back to him near the left side line. Eichel, get it back to D. Hannafin, this one tips. Somebody lost their stick. It's not Ottinger right now, as they'll shovel this away near the left side down. Back and around the end boards. Hurdle will watch as this one, I think it's deflected out of the zone. 6:41 in the second.
Yeah, it's deflected out. Honestly, we were not expecting this to be a 12th game 7 to go scoreless through 2 periods, as crazy as that stat sounds, as we saw the 11th one just yesterday. Mark Stone is feeling a little hurt as he went over to the bench to talk to the medical staff for the Golden Knights. Something's up with him.
I happen to think that he's going to stay in this game. It doesn't look that serious, but you're right, Alec. He is stunned, and it's not a guy that you want to lose. He's back out there right now. He's the captaincy, but he's also someone that can score some goals. He's responsible defensively as well.
Yeah, very responsible on the defensive side. As you age, you lose those attributes. However, how long does he have left in the tank? He still has plenty left in the tank.
I happen to think so. 3 giveaways, 3 hits, 1 block, 9:08 of ice time. Again, that's going to continue to climb. I don't think this game is over by a long shot, but again, I'm still trying to say I'm finding a way for Vegas to get a scene here to get a goal. I'm not seeing it right now. Dallas extended defense, 1-timer. This one blocked nicely by White Cloud as this is picked up off the lift. And this will be sent in. Barbashev too far for him. And Ottinger will get a chance to play this one. Barbashev will finish his hit on Harlan as this will be open near the right side boards. Gain the entry now, Tanev, as he'll continue to spin. Good stick lift by Stone, as this one is easily picked off across the Dallas logo. Captain C. Jamie Benn steals it from Captain C. Mark Stone, as it's flipped in now. Pietrangelo put it across the end boards. And we'll get another whistle. I've had about 15 of these already. It's been giving me a headache.
5:40 left to go. We're getting another stoppage here in the second period. Offsides to call, but we have so many whistles with you on the call. I don't know what they're seeing out there, but they're seeing something in which they see as obvious, such as that offside or pucks going to the benches. It feels like this game is going on too slow.
It is right now. We'll see if we can pick up. I bet honestly, the way that this is going, Alec, you're going to get a hot first 10 minutes of the third period. I think you're going to get some action.
Yeah, just as we speak about hot action, well, between the Nationals and the Blue Jays, we saw hot action, an 11-8 final score with the Nationals taking the win.
That's a good young team so far this year, and I didn't think I would be able to actually say those words out of my mouth. I feel like the Nationals aren't that bad.
Yes, 17-17, standing at 500. Are the Nationals coming up, or I feel we have to tune down their expectations for the Nats?
Yeah, because again, I know it was a few months ago, but Steven Strasburg, the World Series champion, he had to pretty much call it quits. I don't think they're stuck with this contract anymore, but they really weren't supposed to have any hope. I mean, you look at it, the Padres just made a big trade. They got dumped on by the Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks are only 15-20. They made the World Series last year, but Luis Ariz now, I think, is a member of the Padres, as Diamondbacks went 11-4.
Oh, I don't know what's up with the Diamondbacks right now, but it felt like even though they got Jordan Montgomery at their arsenal, they may be missing something on their offensive stat sheet. Of course, they have Corbin Carroll, Ketel Marte, Christian Walker, and Geraldo Perdomo, but you need to load up some more.
You do, and again, it might kind of tell you some of the other oddities in Major League Baseball, because again, the Marlins, they're 10-26. They're able to beat the Athletics, but I didn't expect the Athletics to be 17-18.
Nobody expected that, especially since their final season playing in Oakland before they go to their interim baseball stadium anywhere around the Bay Area or Sacramento, as they're considering right now, before they go to their permanent home at Las Vegas.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of moves. There'll be some moves in the NHL with the team in Utah. We'll see what they'll be named. Hopefully they'll find something that makes some sense as Miro Heiskanen this one gets sent in. But I do feel bad for Coyotes fans. I know Alec and I talked at length about that many times, but it's just been a dumpster fire the way that it's been. Heiskanen, another block. This will go back now near the right side dot. Ben trying to make a play in between his skate blades. Again, he can't take the fight out of the dog from Jimmy Benn. He can still really lay out the pain. Heiskanen sends this one across. Stopped as it was saved off of Harley's chance from Hill. And now Heiskanen one more time for Joe Pa. Is he going to get on the score sheet? Now near the left side, Pietrangelo were the first to get to it. Put back around the end boards here. Alex Pietrangelo got a spin and turn. Robertson still in his face. And Tomas Hertl will send this one back down and across the red line as it's fired in again. 4:40 left to go in the second. Jonathan with you alongside Alec Nava. Are we going to get a goal here for Vegas? Good setup, Carlson. Yes, we will.
Eureka, as you noted, spoke it right into existence. Wide open tap-in goal by Brett Howden, who was basically a castaway by the New York Rangers when he was there. Found a new home with the Vegas Golden Knights and is looking comfortable on this lineup. Easiest day to tap that one in off the setup from Mike Amadio. Howden was waiting out in front patiently for it, presented his stick, leaving Ottinger on an island. Ottinger played the pass, didn't do enough to block off the potential shot, and that was basically the easiest goal that Howden will ever get.
I'm glad you said it that way, because I was just going to ask you, how does Brett Howden get unchecked? Two defensemen aren't there. Ottinger's not there. He's able to walk into the crease and essentially blow on the puck to send it in across the goal line. My goodness.
And he's just able to waltz this one inside, just dance his way in. William Karlsson with the other assist, so the entire third line is on the board for Vegas.
Here they come again now. Hertl off the spin now. Eichel and Waugh trying to make something happen here. Vegas with all sorts of speed. They'll keep it in off the backhand. Hertl lost it. This is played nicely off the end boards. This could be a rush for Dallas. Off the backhand, this one goes wide to Shane. It stays in. Here's a slapper. Backing around the end boards now. Tanev off the one-time attempt. Gets fanned on partially near the right dot. It's a tie game now. Tanev will spin. Pick this up off the back skate. In the high slot, you look for a deflection attempt there for Evgeny Dodonov, and now settle back down Shea Theodore. So Will Karlsson, part of that score sheet there, as Howden, as Alex said, I mean, you couldn't get more open than that. Near the right side, it's tied at 1. That answers a Wyatt Johnson unassisted goal. Dallas trying to make something happen before the end of this second period. Shot board's 13-13. It's a 1-1 game. Hey, I said it wasn't going to be 2-1, but it might be. Here's an opportunity. This one gets knocked away from Marchessault. Goes up and out of play again.
Oh, as we get another puck that goes out of play. Dallas, they've been trapped defensively at some sequences. In Vegas, they're finding their mojo here in the second period. We pointed out last year how the second period was their bread and butter, and that could materialize if they go further down for the road. That's where they like to play their game best. Howden with 6th career postseason goal.
6 seems like an awful lot, but again, that is the depth that Vegas can bring you, and he's one of those guys that you can throw on the bottom 6, you can put on a top 6. Again, Vegas had to deal with so many injuries over the last few years. That's why they have the depth that they do. As this is sent back around the inboards, White Cloud. And big hit that Marceau had to absorb. As this one goes into the players' bench. Now Jamie Benn and White Cloud get tied up. Marceau wants to put hands on number 14 here. I don't think that's a smart decision.
Yeah, I don't think that's smart either, with the referees already breaking up the scuffle here. And I feel this all started. Marchessault was trying to play this puck. Pavelski decked him from behind. Marchessault did not like that. Zach Whitecloud came to Pavelski's defense. I feel I don't know what the decision is by Pavelski to do that. If that was harder impact, you'd think that would be a penalty, but that was not the case. The officials have mostly swallowed their whistles for the most part in this Game 7. Just one penalty all night, that being Keegan Kolesar.
Yeah, no, you said it right. And again, I'm looking at it for Pavelski as well, and I'm thinking maybe that seems a little uncharacteristic to me for Joe Pa.
You think someone of more of a grinder or someone of an enforcer would make those type of plays, but that's not the case. Uncharacteristic, as he said, for Pavelski.
So Jamie Benn, you got Pavelski on the right wing. Maybe they can get a quick draw on a shot here. Somebody on Vegas jumped too early, but they'll do this draw again. Ben wins it clean. Heiskanen was working toward the right circle. He wanted a shot. And now Jamie Benn able to get this back to the defense. Picked up now Stone. So he's shaking off any sort of injury very quickly. And now Nick Waugh really offsides. Now it's 2:39 left to go in the second.
And Nick Waugh with the false start on the faceoff. He still keeps this in. But they set this one up. The intended play was a screen and a possible deflection from Joe Pavelski. Pavelski's stick was on the other side, not the side in which Wyatt Johnson was wanting it to be at.
And we talked about Joe Pavelski and the deflection specialist that he is. And again, I find it hard to believe he's on the score sheet. I mean, he had a game last year in which he had 4 goals in one game.
Yeah, that's hard to believe. That's game 1 of last year against Seattle. I know Dallas lost that, but that was a special game for Pavelski. It was his first game back into the lineup.
Now near the right side, Dallas can't touch because of delayed offside. Here's Chandler Stevenson. Off the drop, he had Barbashev, but the pass was not very clean. Backing around the inboards now, Stone trying to locate Barbashev, looks to finish a hit. Theodore, good step up. Able to get this puck back in the zone here for Vegas. They're taking the lead on the shot board, 14-13. Effectively, they've tied the game as Howden got pretty much a walk-in goal. Martinez to the traffic. This one goes harmlessly off the inboards. Try to be kept in off the back skate. Vegas trying to get around a couple stick blades. Good opportunity. Stankoven now. He'll take a long wrister. This bounces off a hill and back in behind his net. We're almost down to the final 90 seconds of this second period. John Hunter with you alongside Alec Nava. And I'll get set to handle it back to Alec in the first 10 minutes of the third. As this is near the right side dot. Closed off by some defense. Heiskanen. He runs into a hit. And now Will Carlson sent it back around for Martinez. 1:20 left to go in the second. It's a 1-1 game. This one's sent in off the long clear. And Ottinger's got it. He'll settle it down back for his defense. Here's a good pass from about 150. It's got to have Vegas get back on the back skate and send it in toward the players' bench. Still loose, as this will go all the way back down the ice to Vegas. Down to the final minute. Noah Hannafin going from the Flames to the Vegas Golden Knights. He already scored a game-winning goal in Game 6. Able to stay on side. Hurdle. Nice spin, but he's got nowhere to go. No support behind him. Theodore able to clean it up. Down to 45 seconds as this one's dumped in now. Vegas find the entry between the circles. Oh, that doesn't go in near the left post, and I'm not sure how. I think that was Eichel with some wizardry. Dallas able to escape as this goes down near the right side dot. Theodore puts it back around the embankment. Pass bounces off of Dallas. Trying to get the steal now with Stankoven down at 20 seconds. Vegas able to find in the offensive end. He needs some help now. Here's a wrister. This one gets blockered aside. Vegas desperate to keep it in. Down to 10 seconds. Dallas, one more rush before the end of the period. Robertson near the right side boards. Turn down to 3 seconds. Got to let it go. And that's going to end the second period. But how did Vegas not score there?
That was a gimme for Jack Eichel. That reminded us of the closest similar to the David Pasternak goal. Had this one gone in, Eichel doing a dipsy doodle. Forehand, backhand. This time there was a defender right over. That was Chris Tanev, one of the toughest defensive defensemen to get around. And Eichel missed the net entirely. It hit the side of the net. Jake Ottinger was sprawling to his right trying to stop this. He wasn't even tested.
I can't believe that. I mean, that's like the Red Sea for Jack Eichel. Great skate, almost picture perfect like Tomas Hertl. $1 million move. It's the 10-cent finish there as we get the Otter masks. It's 1-1 after 40. Alec's going to take it away once we get to this second intermission here. We're going to have another barn burner in front of us, my friend.
Yeah, so far it's another one of them. Another goaltending matchup. Well, not really a goaltending matchup because it's been a low shooting contest. Vancouver and Nashville has about 5 of these. We're possibly getting our first one between Vegas and Dallas in a low shooting contest.
Yeah, every single one of those ones between Vancouver and Nashville was as low event as possible. And that's why we talked about it the other day, saying what chances realistically does Vancouver have against Edmonton? Now, Ian Genji was a little bit more optimistic than you and I were as far as that. I thought he made some good points. I still wonder when that series does get time and date stamped, how long it's going to go. Sheelov's great story. Honestly, Alec, I think you and I agree. I hope that he does well. I'd like to see them continue. I just don't think you can survive that amount of low output against the Oilers.
You know, the big key for Vancouver, don't put the Oilers on the power play. Essentially, 9 times out of 10, on basically 50% of cases when it comes to playoff time, it's a death sentence.
Yeah. Make sure you tell them that on repeat. We'll have to make sure we leave the letter in front of their door, because if you do that, it's done. Again, let's get into some other baseball scores. I'm just going to give you the scores, and then as we'll get in the second intermission, we'll probably talk some hockey too. But you got the Orioles and the Reds, 11-1. Baltimore able to get that one on the road. Dodgers get a 5-1 win over the Braves. The Braves 20-12. The Dodgers 23-13. Still 2 teams, I would imagine, Alec, that are going to be on a collision course when the playoffs start in October.
Yeah, I feel the Dodgers are starting to get back in form, starting to find their rhythm with Shohei Ohtani and Yoshinobu Yamamoto coming in. Those are their big 2. Not to mention about Tyler Glasnow and Teoscar Hernandez coming in as well. But 5-1 over the Braves, another World Series contender. That's a big win for LA at their home field.
Yes, it is. And again, Mookie Betts has been spectacular this year. I mean, you can pretty much go up and down the lineup. Again, I think it was a couple days ago I saw Max Muncy hit 3 tanks in one game. So definitely bringing the power surge. The Cubs win 5-0 over the Brewers. Brewers are 20-13. Cubs are 21-14. That NL Central race could be tight this year. White Sox get a 5-1 win. And with that win, again, I'm saying this correctly, the White Sox improved to 8-26. Yikes.
Oh, when you just think it can't get worse after you trade away your best pitcher, Dylan Cease. He's now thriving with the Padres. Has been a terrific addition with them. The White Sox, this is essentially rock bottom with them. And what do you do if you're the White Sox? Because it feels like there's just no escaping Jerry Reinsdorf.
No, there's not. You said that right. And again, even if you say you can't escape him, you say you want to go back into a rebuild. Well, you were supposed to be out of the rebuild 3-4 years ago. And 3-4 years from now, there's no thinking that even that'll be done. So the Rangers and the Royals, Rangers get a win. They're 19-16. Slow start for them, but they're still dangerous. Royals are 20-15. They lose 3-2, though, to the Rangers. Speaking of another team, I know we've talked about them a lot, but I got to stop here, Alec. The Mariners win 5-4, so again, they are leading the AL West by half a game. But the Astros are 12-22. What the hell's going on over there?
I feel it's the lack of starting pitchers for the Astros. It's not healthy or they're bad for whatever reason, and Justin Verlander is slowing down considering that he is aging. He's going to be 41 by the end of his contract. Seattle, I feel that's a surprise because it was a very confusing offseason for the Mariners in the winter and in the early stages of spring. But you still got Julio Rodriguez, who went 0 for 4 on this game, but he's still a superstar. But that time it was Josh Rojas, who went 3 for 4 at the bat. That's nice to see Rojas get the majority of the at-bats in which he has thrived at as well. But another win for Andres Munoz, who I may get him more to Aroldis Chapman comparisons more and more. He can throw a nice fastball.
Absolutely. Again, the Heat and 102 pretty much for Munoz on the regular. I think this is the first loss for the Twins. That's broken up. Their win streak, I think, was at like 12 games. So they lost 9-2 to the Red Sox as Rafaela and Devers both get home runs. But the Twins' win streak is over.
Well, for how good the Twins and to an extension their division is, well, it felt like they could win some more games considering how the Red Sox, they're up and down through the year. But all good things must come to an end at times.
The Rays, again, speaking of another team in transition, I'm not bringing up all the Wander Franco stuff. We know about that. But the Rays, again, they started as one of the best teams in the AL East. They get a win today, but they're 17-18 and just 11-9 at Tropicana as they beat the Mets 7-6. Speaking of the AL Central, the Guardians, I think they're playing better baseball than I would have expected. 22-12, they get a 4-1 win over the Angels. We went over the Nationals score against the Blue Jays, 11-8. Yankees win 5-2 over the Tigers in a rain-shortened game. Pirates get a win. But it seems like, Alec, that hot streak for Pittsburgh's cooled down a little bit. They're 16-19.
Yeah, I felt like it was coming back down to earth at some point because the Pirates, a hot start is nice, but you want to sustain this momentum. It's nice that you beat some of the lesser teams, but you need to be more consistent against the better teams.
That's what it takes if you want to have success. And then the Sunday night game is the Phillies and the Giants. Phillies have been excellent lately. They're up 5-3. That ended 7. Again, we kind of went over yesterday all of the NHL side of the brackets and who we think is going to win. I think this might be time, Alec, if you want to steer this toward the NBA side. Who do you want to lead off with? What series intrigue you?
Nuggets and Timberwolves. That was the one that just started. And I know the Timberwolves won the first game, but this series is way far from over.
Is Anthony Edwards, how good is he as far as top players in the NBA? We're already talking about him in a top 10, correct? Maybe more?
Yeah, we're already talking top 10. And it feels like when these players are getting liked and they're young, making their first appearance, they start to get the fan favorites. Over time, once they don't win championships, it feels like that likability starts to cool off. And that's unfortunately the sad reality of NBA fandom culture. That if you don't win, immediately you start to be labeled as a choker, that you can't finish stuff. I don't want to see any more of that because we need to tamper with we need to stop with our raising expectations. Cool it down a bit. It takes time until you win a championship. Keep your patience. That's the approach that people should take with guys like Luka Doncic and all of that. Anthony Edwards also applies to that. Nikola Jokic, too. It took until last season for Jokic to win his first championship. How much longer is it going to take until Doncic and Edwards win theirs?
I think that's well said, Alec. I don't have the answer for you as far as that, for who's going to win next. But, yeah, I think more so in the NBA, you said it best. That happens way too quickly in comparison to other sports as far as trying to label people busts or saying that they're not going to get the job done. And I find it a little disgusting, honestly, because these guys are really young in the league. And honestly, for me, I might be considered a little bit of an old head here, but maybe the talent pool is as good as it's ever been. The only thing that drives me crazy sometimes is when you had those games like when James Harden used to play for the Rockets where the team would just shoot about 63s in a game. I want to see a little bit less of that, but I like where the talent pool is, and I like your thought process as far as some of the young kids in the game. I think they're in the right place. I will lean as well with the Nuggets. I do think it's going to be a long series. I gotta think that the Nuggets find a way to get past the Timberwolves, but Timberwolves have won 5 straight games now, and whether Chris Finch is going to be in a walking boot or whatever, he was there, able to coach the team, and they were able to get a victory. This other one that intrigues me is also going on a little bit earlier. That's tomorrow at 7:30 on TNT between the Pacers and the Knicks. Maybe it's because of the NBA playing game or any of that stuff, but this Pacers team, I know the Knicks are good. I know Jalen Brunson is kind of goated here at this point, to use for a lack of a better term, but I really like the Pacers. I think they might be able to pull an upset.
I mean, the Pacers, they go off with lights out offense, who were at one point was the best in the league by a mile, a long shot. But the Pacers, they like their offensive chances with Tyrese Halliburton, Pascal Siakam, Miles Turner, and all their key pieces around. The Knicks, they're a complete team, one that you can ask for between Jalen Brunson, Mitchell Robinson, Isaiah Hartenstein, and with Brunson as Villanova boys, Josh Hart and Dante DiVincenzo, magic happens with the New York Wildcats, as I can sometimes dub them, because of the Villanova trio between Brunson, Hart, and DiVincenzo. I'm leaning Knicks in 6 because I think the Pacers, they can steal some games with their dynamic offense, but I think 6 games is where I'll set the bar.
Well said. That's fair. I can't argue it too much. I do want to throw this out there, though. You already know it, but I'll just say it again. Julius Randle and Bojan Bogdanovic out. That's not a concern for you?
Yeah, I don't feel it's concerning because OG Anunoby has been the fill-in void that the Knicks have needed ever since Randle went down. Once Anunoby stepped into that starting lineup, the Knicks have improved. But if they get Anunoby and Randle at the front court with Hartenstein / Robinson, that's a front court to fear in Knicks land.
Yeah, all of a sudden then the Knicks become that more dangerous in their dream of trying to even get to an Eastern Conference final. I think that could be realized. So you mentioned it a little bit in the first intermission. We talked about the Cavs and being able to win all the home games to survive the Magic. Well, now their reward is the Celtics. It's going to be the Celtics all the way, correct?
I feel it's going to be the Celtics. But basically, the chant of "We want Boston" is a death sentence to any team that's not the New York Islanders. But for Cleveland, you're setting yourselves up for this. You want Boston? Well, you're going to get Boston. I think it's going to be the Celtics in, let's say, 5 games.
That's fair. I won't argue that. I think we can split the difference in between the Pacers only because I think I fell in love with that during the play-in. But, yeah, I'm right there with you on the Celtics. Maybe the Cavs push at 6, but I think they would also need Jared Allen to do so. They don't have that situation. This is what intrigues me. I think you and I might have some differing opinions. I know I've been farther away from the NBA more so than usual over the last couple of years, but I do feel like as long as I'm not working every one of these games, I do want to go ahead and watch or at least work one of these ones with you. The Mavericks and the Thunder. I know about Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, PJ Washington, all the good pickups there for Nico Harrison and company, but I don't know what it is, Al. I still really like the Oklahoma City Thunder. It wouldn't surprise me if they beat the Mavs.
I mean, we're not going to be surprised if which one beats which one, because the Thunder and Mavs can easily beat each other. Dallas is getting hot the right time on their backcourt. The Thunder have the young rising team right with them between SGA, Josh Giddey, and Chet Holmgren. But the Mavs with the superstar duo of Luka and Kyrie, magic happens. You see what happened at Dallas in Game 6 against the Clippers? They didn't just knock them out, they delivered the killing blow and the knockout punch right at their teeth to prevent the Clippers from advancing again. And the Clippers, it's stuck at what do you do? So I feel for the Western Conference Final, I didn't give my prediction for the Nuggets-Timberwolves series, but I feel both series go to 7 games and we'll see a Western Conference Final of European superstars.
That's fair. You know what? Honestly, I like the Mavs. I like Luka Doncic. Kyrie Irving, I can take it or leave it. I think this Thunder squad is really good. They're really young. SGA is a superstar. I understand how good Luka is. Good luck trying to match SGA on that side. They might cancel each other out. Chet Holmgren might play a big role as far as that front court. I'm going to take the Thunder in 7. I want to see them get past the Mavs. But I will take the Celtics comfortably. I have no doubt about that. So give me the Celtics and give me the Thunder, and then we'll see what happens on the other side of the bracket.
Oh, and now that we have all that out the way, well, the Kansas race is coming down to the wire. We have a spin from Kyle Busch. He dropped all the way back down for the field. But the dominant car has been Denny Hamlin, who has never lost at the Next Gen era, whether it be with him as a driver or a team owner. His wins as a driver came last year in the spring race, and now he's leading as a driver. But his drivers, with him as a team owner, they have won here in the Next Gen era before, between Kurt Busch, Bubba Wallace, and Tyler Reddick, all driving the 45 car.
So Alec will keep us up to date as far as anything else that happens within that race. I know that he's more qualified to talk about that. I can't tell you anything about NASCAR that much. I do watch it occasionally. I've been able to visit sometimes in Michigan and enjoy it. I'm able to enjoy it from afar, but I'm glad that you found a passion with it.
Yeah, well, after watching the Daytona 500 and this year's Atlanta race, it feels like I'm convinced. I was in and out of it a decade ago, but now I'm fully into it onto NASCAR. Well, we're getting set for an exciting finish, possibly in overtime. The leader was Denny Hamlin at the time of the caution. Martin Truex Jr. was second place. Chris Buescher was testing Hamlin for the lead earlier.
Let me give you an update here on this side because I know we're going to be getting in the third period. Alex is going to take the first 10 minutes. I threw for this Game 7 here between the Stars and the Golden Knights. Who was a better matchup for the Avalanche? I gave you Stars, Golden Knights, or neither. And out of 17 votes, 53% of you say Golden Knights, 35% say Dallas, and 12% say the Avalanche will beat both.
It's an interesting matchup. I feel if I'm the Avalanche, Vegas would be a better matchup in my opinion, because if it's Dallas, I feel they have all the tools necessary, offensive-wise, defensive-wise, goaltending-wise. That's not to say Vegas can't beat Colorado, which I do like that they're getting their lineups back together, and they have the better coach over Dallas. I'm not going to argue that, but Dallas, they have the offensive tools necessary.
That's the key for me. That's where I split it as well. Stars, I think, are just a little bit better offensively placated, and I think that's where I lean as well because, as you said, their defense and goaltending might even be a step above. And again, if it is Dallas, then you're going to have another conversation about Alex Gergiev and whether or not he can outduel somebody like Aiden Hill or Jake Ottinger. But he's proven time and time again he can.
I mean, he's proven it time and time that he is that man.
So I know you're going to get set to take it away. We're back in from the intermission coverage. We'll see if you get a goal within the first 10 minutes. Do you think we're going to get a quick overtime, or do you think we're just going to win it here in the third?
I mean, it could go either way. I'm not going to guarantee which way or another, but I think if we're getting two overtimes for the price of one 7-game weekend or one Game 7 weekend, then we'll be treated to a treat here.
Yeah, you got it right yesterday. You said that one was going to be quick. You even got pasta. Take it away. It's going to be the start of the third.
Here we go. Alec Nava, John Ott, third period. We'll be with you right here throughout this game, and we'll go as long as this one takes. Stars in the victory green, Golden Knights in the white. Hill will play this one out for Pietrangelo. With the far side bouncing, Radek Faksa keeping this one in. It's fourth line against fourth line to start this one out of Smith. Struggling to drop this one back behind, sending this one out in front for Sam Steele. Turns it around over the far side. Grounded by Thomas Harley. Long shot through traffic. Bouncing puck over the left side. Held in by Sam Steele. Tight shot. Skipped right by and is held in by Harley on the backhand. Moved around right behind the net. Faksa controls this one at the right circle. Bouncing puck. Steele controls on for Faksa. Backhand shot. Score! Radek Faksa just banked this one on the backhand. 2-1 Dallas.
Wow, that's a lethal backhand. Not a lot of space there in tight. Hill never saw it. None of us ever saw it. He caught everybody by surprise. Good work there for Roddick.
It also surprised us both. Everyone here in Dallas was surprised by the backhand shot of how quick the release was. The speed of the release. which could equate to, say, if it were the speed of a backhand shot equating to Evan Bouchard's snapshot, that was just as quick. Well, we don't expect backhand shots to be as quick as a slap shot, but Adin Hill might have never saw this one coming.
No, and that play design was kind of weird, wasn't it, Alec? Because it was near the right side red line and then a spin like a clock maybe 2 times. Fox on top of the dot. He just backhands it in.
And kudos to Sam Steele for providing the screen to take away Adin Hill's eyes as well. Far side boards, Eichel and Marchessault there. Chris Tanev took it away from them. Shoved away was one of the stars as they're trying to clear. Here's Tomas Hertl setting up Marchessault. That was blocked in front by Tanev. Pavelski got it out right by McNabb. Theodore retreats away from Wyatt Johnston who got the game's first goal. Theodore stick that one away from Johnston. Moves it up over to Hertl. The ex-Shark moved up for Eichel. Eichel got it back over to Marchessault. Long shot was kicked out by Ottinger. And that was a reset on the 2-on-2. Back the other way. Robertson out wide far side. Hanifin under. Robertson lost his stick. No, it was Hanifin's stick that was lost. And Robertson tripped over the loose stick from Hanifin. Some more bodies falling down like bowling pins. And a quick shot was turned away by Hill. Now was Stankoven trying to get a quick shot. Hanifin moving up to the far side for Eichel. Jack Eichel backhanded cross, glove down by Barbashev. Barbashev sends this one in right behind Ottinger. Will be picked up now by Haskin who fakes out Barbashev. On the backhand, controlled out and moved up by Hitz. Sticked away from him. And now moved up front is Chandler Stevenson. Can't find a drop pass for Barbashev and back comes Dadonov. Evgeny Dadonov tried to curl and drag. Fired this one wide. Cannot be kept in as Mark Stone poked this one out. All the way out. Right side for Alex Pietrangelo. For the right circle. Tied up with Stevenson by Tanev. Now it's a puck battle at the near corner. 2:20 into this third period. Trying to backhand this one over to the point. I believe there was Barbashev or Stone rather who was tied up. Now behind the net. Stevenson can't locate it. Tanev could. He clears. Hence moves this one up. This goes right by Tyler Seguin. He locates this puck at the near corner. Slammed towards the boards by Pietrangelo. Tight shot from Seguin. Hill shuts it down, covers it up. 2:41 into the third.
And Tyler Seguin's had so many chances in this series, and every single chance that he's had is chances I think you and I would salivate over. Always near the left dot, always trying to shoot it high. Might I suggest maybe shooting 5-hole, young sir?
Yeah, we're looking at replay back at that Foxa goal. Foxa had a lucky bounce off the knee of Alec Martinez for this goal.
You just can't ask for anything more. That's the margins, and I love that shot for Foxa. Utter elation.
Basically playing pinball here. 3D pinball Space Cadet for all those people who love nostalgia back to the Windows XP days. Dallas back with this. This is Foxa's first goal of this series. The assist from Craig Smith and Thomas Harley. Sent down inside. Vegas picks this one up. They're at center ice. Deep pass went right by Mike Amadio. Ottinger behind his crease. Intending to play this for Ryan Suter. Down goes one of the Golden Knights. It's an arm up in the air. We don't see a referee. As Vegas will now pick this one up. We stay 5-on-5. Hell is back at his crease. Just one penalty all game long. That's Kagan Colasar back in the first period. It's rare to have a Game 7 as disappointing as this one for the most part, but it felt like Vegas fans, the few that are here, may have been complaining about a penalty. This one down deep. Recollected by Hanifin as Vegas looks to even this game up right now. Can't do so for the moment, but they poke this back over to Dallas's end. Tanev back with this. Across for Lindell. Essa Lindell looking deep. And deflected in by Jamie Benn, settled down by Hanifin. And Hanifin will move this one out over to Colasar. Colasar sends it over right behind Ottinger. Relocated by Lindell. Went right off of Waugh. Still held in for a brief second before it went right by Whitecloud. Back with this is Hanifin 4 minutes deep into the third period. Hanifin to the right side over to Whitecloud. Whitecloud still looking for this one up front. Marchessault can't find this one, and Whitecloud send this one right in. Ottinger will just let this go. Harley picks this one up away from Hertl. Deflect on backwards, rushing in to keep this one inside was Martinez. Marchessault around. This skips right by Eichel. And will be picked back up by Hintz. Across for Robertson. Robertson sends it right by Pietrangelo. Pietrangelo sends him towards the boards. On the right circle, this is Dallas. No shot in there. Now they fire it right off of Hill. It sells over to the left point for Harley. And now fire back to the point for Haskin. And down low, this goes to the far corner. Dallas trying to find the open lane. Nothing there. Now it sells right by Harley, who just fanned on this pass as it went right over stick. Marchessault had it poked away by Robertson. Harley resells across for Haskin and right back. Harley forward, deflected in by Stankoven. Hill will play it out over to Fyodor. Chase from behind, and now up comes Barbashev. Ivan Barbashev moves left side. Doesn't go, and now here's Chandler Stevenson to the net. The trailer there. Nothing there for Barbashev, goes tumbling towards the boards as he loses a skate. And I believe one of the Stars gets taken down. Is Oettinger going to go to the bench? I believe so. And something there in the way. I don't know if... Is it going to be 5-on-5 or 6-on-5 as Hill stops a nice chance on Matt Duchene?
Man, amongst all the chaos, Matt Duchene almost gets a goal. I'm thinking the same thing, honestly. I was thinking Vegas might go to the power play. When Barbashev got taken down, he's getting hooked. He falls down, Tanev gets a piece of it, and then Sagan gets run into. That was just a cluster of disaster. And in that chaos, Duchene turns. It bounces off of Vegas' body and almost crosses the red line, if not for Hill.
Aye, John. We're seeing everything happen here in Dallas. Just not sure which way he's going to favor round. It's a toss-up, a coin flip.
It is right now. It's a great Game 7.
Vegas wins the face-off. So seeing Cooper Hopkins join along with us. Glad to have him along for the ride here in Big D at the DFW Metroplex. William Carlson will move this one up, but can't do so. Now up for the lane, right side. Craig Smith centers up, damn Steele. How did he miss that? Now it's over the far side. Down deep is Steele, walking the point. Left side is Haskin and back across. One-timer, stopped by Hill. Vegas trying to clear. Carlson skating up with this, can't get it out. It's Lindell over the net, bouncing out in front. Will be picked back up by Amadio. Away from Steele, onto Hannafin. Noah Hannafin twists and twirls right over to the far side. Battle for this loose puck, sent on down deep. Recollected by Lindell. Dallas back with this at the zone. Right by Drew Pavelski, shoved away by Hannafin. 6:20 into this third period. Jamie Benn slowed down by Carrier. Benn behind the net, set him in front. Can't do so there. Recollected by Lindell. Back in his own zone. Away from all sorts of Golden Knights. Benn trying to get behind the defense. It's right behind the net with Pietrangelo watching. Slowed down once. Now it's up in front. Hell under siege. Trying to get this loose puck. And so with Johnston, now Benn. Loads up deep at the point. And that one went wide. 13-12 in the third period. Vegas trying to get back down. They've been under siege throughout this third period. Not a lot of shots as the majority of the action has been from Dallas. They've had the majority of shots in this third period. Goodness, it's been a barrage of stars all throughout that Vegas is due for an attack here. Can't get one now as it's cleared out by Dallas, and Fyodor's the first two there. Ted on a crossover to Pietrangelo. Set down deep. Rope Hens was in the way. Retreating back is Ryan Suter as he braces himself for contact from Jack Eichel. And down goes one of the Stars, that was Stankoven. And one of the Golden Knights on the other end, that was Hurdle, goes down as well. There's been all sorts of bowling pins here as the hit totals now 43-31 the advantage to Dallas. Set down deep to center ice with Vegas trying to go back inside. Eichel can't locate this on the pass. Robertson back the other way up for Duchene. Duchene may have a lane right by for McNabb. He was slowed down. No arm up in the air. Hurdle trying to restart things for Vegas, can't do so now. And down goes one of the Stars. Marchessault drops this one back over to Fyodor. Jay Fyodor sends his one past Eichel as he's trying to get this puck back for the Golden Knights. Does so. Out in front, Marchessault locating this loose puck. Fyodor ran out of room. It was up over the net. Haskin picks it one back up, shoved away. Stankoven tries to clear. This one goes out onto the bench. And we have a stoppage finally at the 11:53 mark.
Welcome in, Cooper.
Well, boys, I think I joined in just at the right time here. Things are getting very intense. And Alec, excellent job on the call. I don't know if you guys have been trading on and off, but I certainly hope that you have been enjoying this Game 7. I was able to tune in at the end of last period, and boy, it has been the tale of two backhands. Jack Eichel missing the nearly open net at the end of the second. What could this game look like had that shot gone in? And then not even 1 minute into the third, Dallas takes the lead on a seeing eye backhand. The action has been incredible. Gentlemen, how's the game been for you so far?
Go ahead, Alec.
Doing good. Coming off one Game 7 that was yesterday, and on to another Game 7, which is today. Both been rather low scoring. We may be seeing the best goaltending that we have seen these past 3 days of NHL ice hockey in the first round.
Yeah, we have been. And again, Alec had to help me out a little bit because my space would not start. So then we ended up picking this back up. And again, I'm at the point here, gentlemen, where if Dallas gets another one, this might be done. I mean, Aiden Hill's got to keep this lock and key, correct? Because Dallas looks like they want this.
Oh, absolutely. And Alec, you made some great observations. Just the barrage of shots that have been coming toward the Knights goaltender, and especially in this period in particular. And I think Dallas can feel it. I think their crowd can feel it. I think that the Stars expected to win this series, regardless of the fact that they're playing the Vegas Golden Knights, one of the top franchises in the league, and still really in their youth, so to speak, as a member of the NHL. But impressive stuff, and the Knights are never to be counted out. But yeah, John, you make a great observation as well. I think that Dallas has their foot on the gas here. Can they get more breathing room? That's a great question. The Knights have bent but not broken, other than that goal scored about 40 seconds into this third.
So, Alec, I was giving you the top 10 minutes. Might as well take it so you get another commercial break, and then I can jump in.
Yeah, this also would have been a 2-2 game had it not been for the missed chance by Jack Eichel as he just banked this off the side of the net. The shots at the end of the second period were 15 all. Now it's 23-16 Dallas as Pietrangelo loses puck in front. Can't be centered on down as Vegas will take this back up. We may have a penalty on the way here. Tyler Seguin's trying to plead his case, but if it stands, Evgeny Dadonov is going to go to the penalty box. Vegas will get their first power play.
This really feels like, Alec, this was the sign of life that Vegas was waiting for.
Yeah, this is the time, guys. This is it. We do have the penalty here for the tripping, and we're nearing that 10-minute mark, halfway point of the third period. It feels like this third period has absolutely flown by. There haven't been too many breaks in the action, so we'll see if Vegas can take advantage. They need to do so here, being down by one.
Yeah, I said Dadonov. He's actually going to be the one serving the penalty, but how rare is it that you see a goaltender getting called for tripping penalty? Jake Ottinger is getting called for one.
Yeah, we got one the other day, didn't we, against the Leafs?
Oh, this is so unbelievable. Vegas on their first power play of this game is only the second power play of this game overall, but it could be the most meaningful one for Vegas, especially after the Jack Eichel miss. Noah Hannafin on the top power play, and that was poked loose by Sam Steele. On the series, Vegas is 3-4-11 on a man advantage. They have not had a lot of chances here thus far, but this may be their best chance. Here's Eichel setting up through center ice, trying to skate this one in. Forced to the outside wide, and a good job by Dallas to force that offside. 32 seconds into the man advantage.
We flip a coin here, right? I mean, who's going to get this? If Vegas doesn't score on the power play here, I mentioned, how many times are we going to see this open up here for Vegas? Because Dallas has been doing a great job of closing out all these lanes all game.
Yeah, and a great move right there by Dallas's back checkers there in the zone. They get the stick check there at the blue line, knock it into the neutral zone, and kill a bunch of this power play. So Vegas has to turn it around right here. They're in possession. Alec, take it away.
So about a minute away until I hand this back over to John. We have the first power play unit out on the ice. Dallas with another successful clear, 105 on the man advantage. Aiden Hill plays this one out. Noah Hannafin will skate this one up, and will drop it back over to Eichel at the end of his shift. Eichel moving down the lane. Last burst of air on his tank. Dallas with yet another clear, and that should get changes to both the power play unit and the penalty kill unit for Vegas and Dallas respectively. Hannafin will take this back over 45 on the power play. Eichel still out there. Drop pass over to Marchessault, skating up for the near side. For the right side, Nick Waugh. Waugh will look from the right circle at the bottom. Around for Eichel. Eichel couldn't hold it. He's at the end of his shift. He must be exhausted out there. Sam Steele on the forecheck. Theodore's there conveniently for Vegas. Pass deep for Marchessault. Marchessault right across. This was lifted off the stick of Carlson, and Dallas again another clear. 18 seconds ago here on the man advantage, and I'll hand it over to John as this is a good point to have you take over.
So I know Alec will be a little bit ahead of me. I'm assuming Cooper is as well. Pietrangelo, find the entry now off the backhand. He will get it. And the high slot, here's a shot that gets blocked. And near the right side, Dallas, great job circling. Here Pietrangelo, trying to get a lane off the backhand, set it off a backhand chance to the left out for Wild Bill, as this is pinned against the left side boards. And now Vegas can cumber it. How much time do they got left? Pietrangelo, another block for Dallas, as it's to Donov. Pietrangelo now has to spin, as number 63 was providing him some discomfort. And now set back for Bruce Cassidy's squad. It's stolen! Now they're on the right side. That was an obscure camera cut. I almost thought it was going to be a goal. Gentlemen, this is getting crazy.
Oh, I'm not sure how this one was not a goal for Sam Steele, despite the fact with Dallas having 9 shots in this period, as I was up by one of my calculations about who has the more shots between the two of them. At the end of the second period, Vegas had the advantage 15-4, but that was a gimme.
Harley now, Hintz trying to find it, and Jamie Benn will get this out of his own end. Hopefully don't get anything that obscure. My heart almost went in my throat. As this is sent back now for Aiden Hill. Backing around the end boards again. Vegas is needing a goal right now. Kind of feels like the same thing that we talked about in between Nashville, Vancouver, Toronto, Boston. Yet another 2-1 game. Who is going to win it? The defending champs are up against the ropes. They got the win in Game 6 when they needed it. But so far throughout this series, it feels like Dallas has been the better team, as this is sent the other way. We're talking about Vegas going forward. Should they advance, they're trying to get their lines in order, but they need to get their offense going as well. Here's an opportunity now. Theodore able to send this across for McNabb. Picked up off the drop, Marchessault, and a headlock is Barbashev. He's got nowhere to go. And this one gets sent down. 7:50 left to go in the third. John Under with you alongside Alec Nava and Cooper Hopkins, as this one gets sent back in. Picked up now for Chris Tanev. As Tanev and Hannafin on opposite sides, one of them is going to advance. Sent back now for Martinez, as he'll put this near the left side. Vegas and the Road Whites lose the puck. This one gets sent in now. Sam Steele trying to make a play. And behind the cage, Hill trying to backhand. Here's a puck pickup from Pietrangelo. I imagine Bruce Cassidy's going to have to start double shifting some of these lines. Drop for Stone. Tries to leave to the defense, but they're not there. As they get this across the Texas D. Now sent back in deep and across the red line. Hurdle just trying to get an open space as this is cleared in by Whitecloud. Ottinger will look. Again, Ottinger throughout this series has been excellent, especially in the last few stretch of games. Whitecloud into the traffic. Ottinger was swimming in the crease for a moment as this is near the right side. Haskin up to a minute 20 on his shift. Whitecloud, traffic, and this one is stopped by Ottinger, but that was a good screen in front.
What a stop by Jake Ottinger with the Otter vision right in front. I don't want to get into jokes of what, and you're ahead of me by some time, but William Karlsson with the screen, but Alex Pietrangelo that time with the slapper, but Evgeny Dadonov jumped in front. Jamie Benn again on the screen. Tomas Hurdle was taking away the vision from Ottinger. Smart shot, but better save.
Yeah, you said it, Alec. That's great. And boy, did Ottinger look cool. It looked like nothing to him. He snaps that thing right out of thin air and then coolly skates out of the blue paint for the media timeout like it's practice, guys, like he's in a warm-up. You can tell that Ottinger's locked in, and I would say the same for the Dallas Stars. John, you alluded to this, and hey, you guys both know me well enough at this point. I'll take an opportunity to pull out a Calgary Flames reference whenever I can. John, this is reminding me, when I watch this Vegas Golden Knights team, it's reminding me of a lot of Calgary Flames games. They have talent, they have the pieces, but for many, many periods that we called their games, especially this season and even the year prior, something just seemed off. It's hard to put my finger on it. I don't know if it's Dallas's effort. Steele, in particular, has looked great in this period. Tons of effort. He's been around the crease. He's been involved in a lot of close plays, including the one that sent John's heart into his throat. I hope you're recovering, my friend. We need you for the rest of this broadcast. But the Knights just can't. If you're a Knights fan right now, if you're a Golden Knights fan, you got to be pulling your hair out. And John, for you and I, it's what little there is left. They just cannot seem to connect the pass when they need it the most. It's being forced just a little bit. I'm not sure if you guys agree, but I feel like they feel the pressure, and it's getting to them just a bit.
I do. I think you're right on top of it. And again, I'll jump into Alec here for a minute. But yeah, as this series has gone along, games 1 and 2, that's far and away now. Dallas has been the better team, and I think they're forcing Vegas to pull their hair out. Would you agree, Alec?
Yeah, I would. They've made some adjustments that they've needed to learn from last year, to learn from the mistakes that you made last year when you put yourselves in that 3-0 hole. Well, 2-0 isn't as bad as 3-0 because 2-0 is more doable than 3-0. But this time around, Peter DeBoer learned from last time around and made the necessary adjustments.
Is that 7-0 record in Game 7s for him about to be 8-0? Dallas is 620 thereabouts away. Is this one will be cleared into Ottinger? Hold on. I am a little bit upset that this is a first-round series, but this is what we got right now. In Dallas, they could move on to face Colorado.
Oh, sorry for stepping on your toes for the moment, but we wish that this could be a Western Conference final or West semifinal series. It's been that good.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic one, and this game alone has been really fascinating to watch. And look, it looks like it's going to go one way here. It looks like the Stars are going to walk away with this thing with just about 6 minutes left before they hit the finish line in this series. I'm excited either way, whichever of these teams goes on to face Colorado. Truly interesting stuff that we can talk about.
Robertson will watch this one go to Noah Hannafin. Again, will it be one of the Flames that score a goal here to be able to send a tie or a 2-goal lead? That would also be interesting and something to talk about. It'd be a little poetic. This will be near the right side for Robo. Back now for Hintz. This one will get cleared in, and that first line for Peter DeBoer's squad will get settled. Down to 5:55 left to go, maybe in Vegas this season, and their title defense could end in the first round. This is pure theater here as this goes up into the netting and on a play.
Well, if we think of photo finishes in the past, we've been discussing photo finishes. Well, if you haven't had enough of photo finishes, how about another one? By 1,000th of a second, the closest finish in NASCAR history, Kyle Larson over Chris Buescher.
We've had that. We've had Kentucky Derby. We've had a bunch of stuff going on.
Yeah, I bet that the Toronto Maple Leafs fans felt like they were 1/1000th of a second away from moving on in the Stanley Cup playoffs, and then the Boston Bruins had other ideas, guys. That was quite a finish as well, and things are topsy-turvy again in Leafs land.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it a little bit, Cooper, but you got to imagine Sheldon Keefe, Brendan Shannon, the GM, or one of the core four. Maybe all those moves. Moves are going to get made.
Yeah, a lot of them. Shanahan, Keefe, Marner, those three could be on their way out.
Yeah, it's so interesting, with a lot of those core guys, the players having those no movement clauses, you'd have to be curious to think who could be requested, that sort of subtle under the table. Would you waive your no movement clause, perhaps, Mitchell, in interest of maybe getting a fresh start somewhere? You got to think that he's getting a little exhausted by all the scrutiny there in the media and from the fans. But plenty of time to talk about that. We want to stay focused on who's still in this thing. And yeah, guys, as I look forward here to whoever Colorado will face, listen, I know we have a 2-1 lead for Dallas right now. Do you have a preference, or are we staying pretty neutral on that?
What do you think, Albert?
Well, I'm rather neutral on this, but personally, I just can't tell who is going to get the upper hand on who.
I'm going to go ahead and say I want to see the Golden Knights advance, only to fall down to Colorado. Is that fair?
Hey, anything's fair in the Stanley Cup playoffs, John. You can say anything you want as long as the team's in there. Interestingly, normally you and I are pretty locked in, and this is, of course, straight up opinion. I'm actually, and not just because of the way the score sits, I'm interested to see the Dallas Stars versus the Avalanche. I think either way we're going to get a good one, but we got to finish this one first. The Stars fans getting nuts in the building right now.
Yeah, my hope, I will say this for the record here, Cooper, while you're in, and we can talk about that going forward as well when we work a game, but I want to see Florida and Colorado in the Stanley Cup final. That's what I want to watch the most. We'll see if we can get to it. We got a long way to go, though, as this is now near the right side. This will be sent in. Vegas have to start 5:25, maybe left to go in their season. Hannafin able to send this one in now. Who is going to be a hero for Vegas? Who's going to block more shots for Dallas? Rope Hintz has already done a lot of that. He also won a game with an empty netter. Stone back and behind an effort. Chandler Stevenson. Somebody, anybody. Noah Hannafin off the backboards. And this one now picked up for Tanev. The outstretched pass. Pavelski, not on the score sheet yet. Here's a wrister for Johnston. And a pickup now for Hill, but he'll quickly play it. And Vegas down to their final 5. Get a chance now off the spin and turn. Shea Theodore is losing this puck near the right side dot. Everybody's standing up here at American Airlines Center, as they should. You know, Dallas wants that revenge from the Western Conference Finals last year. It was a hell of a series then. It's a hell of a series now. Here's Pietrangelo. Gain the red line and send it in. And this is now near the right side dot. Sent back down for Pietrangelo, former Blues captain. And he's won a cup for both of these teams in between the Blues and Vegas needs a goal. Now into the left side red line. This is sent in. Eichel, he's a beast with the puck. Got to try to make something happen now. We'll send this back to defense. Pietrangelo in deep. Marchessault pinned by Heiskanen. Marchessault still emerges with it. It goes back to D, though. They can't get anything on the outside as this clearing attempt goes back to neutral. 3:55 left to go in the third. John Eder with you alongside Alec Nava and Cooper Hopkins. It's Game 7. Dallas up 2-1 against Vegas. Trying to move on to play the Avalanche in a couple days. Rope hits, put it around the end boards. High slot now. Vegas shoots. It's a harmless deflection. Dallas kills more time. Down to 3:30. Find the entry now. Amadio with a sauce pass near the right side red line. As players come together, it's kind of hard to see everything with all the fans standing up. As this eludes Carlson, and this will be sent down. Vegas, we've been saying it a lot. Now they can't even clear through the neutral zone. They're just trying to find a way to get in and get shots, and Dallas is keeping them in jail right now. Hurdle, send this around the end boards. Almost stolen. And now we'll see if Amadio can make something happen, but it's turned over. Jamie Benn, touch it here for Johnston. No race toward the net. Aiden Hill's got it, but the clock is starting to become an enemy for Vegas.
At what point do you pull Aiden Hill? That's the question in the mind of Bruce Cassidy that he has to be thinking right now. Do you want to go at around the 2:30 mark, or do you want to go around 2 minutes to pull him and get the extra attacker out?
Yeah, no, it's a fair question. You know, it's crazy to believe that that's probably what the coaches on the bench were thinking right after Vegas was unsuccessful with their only man advantage. They were immediately probably shifting to thinking about Hill, and Hill has got to get out of the crease, I would say, as soon as possible here.
And I would just venture, because I know we're all thinking it, how can you even do that? Because Vegas can't get sustained puck pressure right now against Dallas's defense. Now Dallas wins an offensive zone draw. That's going to work out beautifully for them. Vegas has got to transition quickly as this is sent down off the long flip. Here's a chance now for Nick Waugh. Across the right side wall, gets around Suter. Vegas up against it. We haven't seen the empty net pull yet on the TBS coverage. Nick Waugh, and behind the net, continuing to dance. Here's a slap shot. Yet another block. This time Wyatt Johnston. Turnstile for a couple of the Vegas players. This one picked up across the red line, and then a huge hit takes one of the Vegas players off their feet, and that sends the towels waving. 2:15 left to go in the third. Dallas still up 2-1. Roddick Foxa with a nasty backhand goal. The go-ahead early in the third at 19:18. Here's a steal! Aiden Hill comes out to make a play. And now this is near the right side. Hill says no with the glove. Down to 2 minutes, another heart-in-your-throat moment. This is sent in by Eichel, and now Jake Ottinger will hold. Take a breath.
If you're a goaltender, play aggressively with style.
Boy, oh boy, do I respect Aiden Hill for making... You know what, though? That's years of training. It's so rare to see that when goalies have to come that far out. Look, I know he wasn't at the blue line, but he stepped out of the crease, and you are right on, Alec. Play aggressively. Keep your team in this thing. Don't just wait back and take a breakaway shot. Get to that puck, dive, and make contact. That could have kept his team in this thing with 1:50 to go. Impressive.
It
was. Again, he might also be thinking about Ilya Samsonov there against David Pastrnak. He might have liked to see it, but it's also easier to say in the moment. But Aiden Hill, we know about that. He was kind of really the main reason why Vegas won a Stanley Cup last year. And now Bruce Cassidy takes a timeout.
Yet, now that you're in a game 7, take your chances. I felt Adin Hill felt the urgency to move this puck rather quickly as opposed to just staying in his crease, because if he stayed in his crease, that would have been a potential breakaway for the Dallas Stars to potentially wrap this one up and advance over to the second round. That's why Adin Hill felt no choice but to play this one out. It paid off.
It certainly did, and I see Noah Hannafin, former Flame here. Listen, he's a goal scorer in this series. He's been there in some big moments, and even though he's a blue liner, I would expect him to be heavily involved here in the last minute and 50 seconds of this contest. Exciting stuff, guys. Glad to be along with you. Apologies I couldn't be here for the whole thing, but we got a good finish.
No, we appreciate you having you on. We've been waiting for this. Again, this kind of feels like the intrigue of the Avalanche and the Kraken last year a little bit, Cooper. I know it's not the same stakes, but it's still the Game 7. This time it's against the defending champs. Now near the right side, the net is empty. Adin Hill is out, and Dallas could essentially ice this, but they're already up by 1. Vegas got to get a goal here. They can't get possession. There was a cheap play here for Wyatt Johnston, but it'll be sent back in for Jake Ottinger down to the final 90 seconds. Here's a pickup now near the left side. Now Stone, this pass for whatever reason was way too wide, and now Pavelski off the backhand. They'll successfully clear it down. Eichel, you're going to be triple shifting here for Bruce Cassidy's squad. Near the right side dot. Back to D. Eichel's on the left side point, as this is now with Marchessault. Everybody standing up. Stevenson sends it across. Vegas can't find anything. And now back in behind the cage, Hurdle, Stevenson, everybody standing up, so anyone's just going to get swallowed up near that side of the camera. 45 seconds. This is near the right dot. Flies up into the air. Back to the left side dot now. Vegas season's on the line. This is Jack Eichel. High slot Stevenson. Still on the outside. They can't get any shots here. Down to 30 seconds. Stevenson fires. And Ottinger sees it all the way.
So much passing, not enough shooting. That goes to show about the Stars forcing him out wide to prevent them from getting any clean looks to the net. Vegas needs to get open and find the right lane possible.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And you know what? Ottinger looks dialed in. There is just nothing but a cool, calm gaze from that crease. And it's got to be intimidating. I don't care if you're the defending champs. The way Ottinger's playing right now, he's making these saves look easy. And boy, John, you said it. So many ticks off the clock right there. I understand trying to find the perfect angle and the perfect spot. Sometimes you got to let it be messy. Try to let that thing bounce around in the high slot and try to knock one in. Less than 30 here. Dallas now taking a timeout so they can catch their breath.
Man, everybody's catching their breath right now. I'm just happy to have a gentleman in here. We're on the Twitter X space. We're on the YouTube side. We've got comments flowing in. Everybody's enjoying this. We've got a couple of Game 7s. I know we're going to have a hell of a second-round series of matchups. I know Alec and I will probably work in one of the games in between the Rangers and the Hurricanes. Cooper and I probably working in one of the ones in between this series against Colorado. I'm trying to get everything squared away. I'm just happy to be here with you, gentlemen. And I can't believe it, but we're 29 seconds away from Vegas bowing out the first round.
If that happens, that'll mark the 4th time in the last 6 years in which the defending champion gets bounced in the first round, as hard as it is to believe.
You know, that's a great stat, Alec. We talk about the Super Bowl hangover in the NFL, which is more or less, I think, on that same kind of stat line. But let's take a look here. We got less than 30. John, let's get to the home stretch.
Eichel and Ben, and on the draw, Eichel wins it. Vegas got to get some pucks to the net. We just talked about that. This is behind the cage. Now near the right side, Dallas gets the clear. Dallas now on the left side red line. Can Vegas hold on to this? Find the entry. Stone was there. Here's a pass near the right side, This one goes wide. It's down to 5 seconds. Hannafin, cross. This one behind the net. And the Dallas Stars are going to hold on to beat the Vegas Golden Knights. They have a date with the Avalanche.
Whew. And down go the Golden Knights on a hard-fought game. Peter DeBoer winning his 8th Game 7 in his 8th try, staying undefeated. On their way to the second round, Colorado with something at their mind considering what happened in 2020, the Joel Kiviranta hat trick. He's no longer with the Stars. He's now with the Avalanche, and now switching teams from left to right. At Dallas, they're celebrating here. The party is on at North Texas for the Victory Green. Now, if you're Dallas, you can party right now, but once again, just like the Bruins yesterday, the realization phase may start to kick in tomorrow when you have to face the Avalanche and their star-studded lineup.
Yeah, no, you are absolutely right. And John, way to take us home with some energy there, my friend. Well done on the call. And boy, on the other side of the spectrum, stunned Vegas Golden Knights, truly on the ice, shaking their heads as they seem streamers coming down, which is, if I'm being honest, not something that I'm accustomed to after a first-round win, but you got to celebrate when you have the chance. So credit to the entertainment team at the arena in Dallas, but a hard-earned win in this series. And boy, Vegas did push it all the way to the brink, and they even got that last attempt. You know what? Eichel was set up for that 1T, and the pass came across at a 45-degree angle from the blue line from none other than Hannafin. He was in on that play. Eichel had a good, clean look, didn't get a full swing at it, and I believe that last shot went off the outside of the cage. As we see the handshake line here, one of the greatest traditions in all of sports. And guys, this is a moment for me, a little breath, as I have the Dallas Stars predicted to be the Western Conference representative in the Stanley Cup Final. So we'll see if that remains true. But for one more day, I can breathe easy because the Stars are moving on, and they did so looking really good in this game, and especially in this third period when it all mattered most.
That's a good call by you. I'm very interested to see how well that is going to hold up in the second round, because I do think the Dallas Stars are a complete team. I thought Vegas was going to fight tooth and nail. They did. Big credit to Dallas because, again, you take that WCF from last year, you flush it away. Hey, what better way to answer than to meet them again in the first round and get the victory? Is there any concern from you, Cooper, that a 7-game series is going to drain out a lot of the energy for the Stars when they play the Avalanche?
You know, I think certainly. And listen, to take down the defending champs, Vegas, no slouch here. And even though that I believe that both of you are correct, Dallas did look like the more complete team, the team that probably should have won this series, and they did, of course. But that comes at a price, right? Especially when it takes you a little bit longer. And the Avs, if we're just basing on their performance and appearance from their first-round series, they look like they are primed and ready to go. And they are, John, we've talked about this. Alec, I think we were on when we were chatting about this. There is the playoff version of the Colorado Avalanche. Sometimes they lose themselves a little bit in the regular season, but they seem to get locked in. They know that sweet spot. And a lot of those leaders on that team have the mentality. They've been down this road. It's going to be really interesting. I know, John, you were thinking maybe Vegas, but the consolation prize is nothing too shabby. I think that watching the Stars and the Avs is going to be really exciting.
Is it going to be a hard-fought battle to the finish between Colorado and Dallas? I may lean slightly towards Dallas on the matchup. It may be a matter of rust versus rest for Colorado, but I think Colorado is going to be locked in, dialed in advance of this series. They're prepared, well-rested in advance. Dallas, I don't think the lack of rest is going to affect them. We've seen teams that have a lack of rest not bothered in advance for their next series.
I think you gentlemen make great points. Better than anything I'm about to make. I'm just going to tell you this honestly. I'm on the bandwagon for the Avalanche Revenge Tour. Look out.
I think you got there's a lot of heat there, John, and that's no flames fun. I think that you got something right on. As even though I'm going to stick with my prediction, I was talking with one of my pals, another hockey fan. He was asking me, okay, what do you think to take me all the way to the Stanley Cup Final? And I said, Dallas and Matthew Tkachuk's Florida Panthers. So we'll see. But John, I think that you may be right on. If I were to pick another team to come out of the West, there's just something, and again, tough to quantify it. Sure, we could go through all the stats. We could talk about the goal scoring and the performance of the goaltenders, but it just in my gut, the Colorado Avalanche seem to have, and I think revenge tour is the best phrase. You already said it. And guess what, pal? We've known each other long enough. I'm stealing it. It's the Colorado Avalanche revenge tour. Let's go.
So I'm going to close out this week with 6 out of 7. I'm glad to have you gentlemen on here with me, and this was a lot of fun. I know Alec's going to be hosting this space here. He got it all set up because mine wasn't working. So Monday I'm going to take the day off. I will jump back in with Alec for one of the ones in between Carolina and the New York Rangers, and then Cooper, I think I'm going to lean with you on Dallas and Colorado because we also have some other stuff that we have to discuss. So that's my plans for the week. I'll get time squared away for both of you, and we should have some fun heading into the second round.
Let's go have that fun. Hopefully with the Canes tying it up in Game 2.
Yeah, you got it, Alec. Don't want to forget those teams out in the East. It's been really exciting, and I always appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for letting me jump on. I wouldn't have my feelings hurt if you just kept me on as a listener, and I'd be happy to do so. But always great to jump on the mic with you, and I'm looking forward to more of it. This is getting good in the Stanley Cup playoffs here. It's going to be really excellent moving forward with you guys.
Yes, it is. We'll talk soon. I'll see you next week.
See you then.
Adios.